The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Monday, May 2nd, 2022, and this sports show shall begin right now. Can't thank you enough for joining us. Hope you had an incredible weekend. The weekend that had the NFL draft as well as some NBA playoff games that were electrifying. The NHL playoffs start tonight. Oh, yeah. We're getting into a time where there's some veterans getting signed around the NFL. It is a glorious time to be alive, and we appreciate you joining us right here at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Now, the room is packed with the toxic table at Ty Schmidt and at Boston Connor. Connor, your mullet looks fantastic.
Oh, thanks, Pat. You also have what they say, the 35-year-old glow. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. 35 years
Hell
is a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah, long time. Hey,
Long time.
Long time.
No.
When I was a child, I thought 35, probably not going to make it there. Honestly, for a large part of my life, I assumed I was not going to make it past 30. And that is not because I'm a negative person. It's because I was a super positive person. Yeah. So much so as, hey, I would do anything at any time, whatever you got to do. We need to drink 30, 40 beers tonight. We got to do that. Tomorrow we have to do the same thing. Let's do it. That led me into a little bit of burning it from both ends type life.
Sure.
So there was a lot of times where I'm gonna enjoy tonight as if it is my last night on earth, and I really did have that mentality. I attacked life as such, and I just assumed that it wasn't gonna last long. So then I make it to 30. I'm like, God damn, look at me go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going now.
Look at you.
Then I turned 34. I beat Jesus.
That's right.
Jesus, 33. That's a monumental one.
Huge.
Now that I'm 35, I want to let everybody know that I have no idea why and how I get to live the luckiest life and the dumbest life of all time. But I'm very, very thankful. I'm very, very grateful. I was hoping to not talk about it, but let's get this out of the way now so we don't have to do it for the next 3 hours. But I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful. I have no idea what the next 365 have in store. Okay, but I am going to try to enjoy every single part of it. I will hope, that everybody gets a chance to enjoy their life through this next year, and I'm very thankful and grateful for everybody. So thank you so much. With that being said, fuck you, Connor. No, you didn't deserve that.
I mean, 30 or 40 beers on Saturday wasn't too shabby either, I would say.
Shout out to my wife, by the way. My wife, Sam, set up a surprise birthday party on Saturday night. I believe invited everybody. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe invited everybody, and I don't know who all got invited that didn't come either. So I don't know because it was a surprise party until a few hours before the surprise party was supposed to start because we moved into a new house, as everybody knows, because the last house had black mold in it, so had to get out of that house quickly, move into a new house. House has a couple different floors. Don't really see many of the other floors other than the main floor.
Sure.
So I think my wife thought that maybe she could just decorate an entire floor. I would never go down there. I woke up. I was like, I heard Sam downstairs, heard the dogs downstairs. I'm like, I wonder what's going on downstairs. Go around, turn the corner. I'm like, what's up? She said, don't come in here. So I obviously
Went right in.
I go, what's that mean? What's going on? And there was an entire party set up already. And I was like, oh, shit, what's going on? Oh, this is for me. Oh, this is a surprise. Oh, I'm so sorry. And she was actually okay with it because it would have been interesting to get, to figure out how to surprise me. But then when everybody came and how much fun we had, it was an absolute blast.
Great time.
Shout out to my wife, Sam, for setting that up. Thank you so much. The surprise didn't happen. It just happened with me and her,
Right.
It was just me and her. The surprise, and the dogs and the cats were there.
Yep.
And I'm sure they were surprised too because there's a lot more shit for them to bat around and pop in the middle of the night. But the night was a blast, and thank you all so much for coming. Darius Butler's still burping up something.
Oh, yeah, he's hurt.
He was just chugging beers like a white guy.
What?
Like a white guy.
What?
He's like, I'll have just a little tequila here, a little Red Bull. Yeah, I'm just chilling. Oh, we got this bottoms-up kegerator thing over here. How's that work? Oh, it's cool. You got to try it at least once.
Yeah.
Boom, put that thing. Ice cold Bud Light.
So smooth.
Thank you, Connor, by the way, and Bruce, and for bringing that over. Ice cold Bud Light there. And Foxy, I think, jumped on the train there, too. The entire beer was cold the entire night.
Oh my God.
And if you just have that kegerator sitting there, thank you to the previous owner of the house that left that in there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a little taste of high society is what I'm experiencing now. I got fountains that go into my pool.
You do?
Like,
Yeah,
I found that out yesterday too. I mean, that was a big deal. I moved into this house and I had no idea. Just kind of moved in there. I got a whole new taste of high society that I'm living in. Kegerator, the fountain into the pool. I mean, it was a good time.
It was a great time.
We're gonna have to try that again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that
try.
kegerator is a problem, though, because you're right. It's not like your average keg. You see it even if you're not drinking beer. It's like, well, they're ice cold, they're very smooth, and they fill up in a cool way. So I'm going to have a couple.
try it.
And then you drink one, it's like, Jesus Christ, that was one of the best beers I've ever had. So you got to have another.
Well, and then you maybe didn't do it perfectly the first time, but you
Right.
saw somebody else pour it perfectly, and there's a little bit of a timing game for you to push it and to pull it. So you're like, all right, so
I'm prepared next time.
Try again.
Even if the beer wasn't that good, well, it's probably my fault. It didn't pour that well. Because you literally put the cup, I don't know, it penetrates the cup. So the keg, instead of having a tap, you know what I mean? It's from the bottom there, and you put a specially designed cup.
Yeah.
It breaks through, and then it kind of penetrates there, and the beer fills from the bottom of the cup up, and it's like fucking a movie.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's literally like a movie as it fills up. But then you either have to stop it or lift it out in the right time. So there's a little bit of a timing game you have to play with it. But it is glorious.
It is.
It was a brilliant idea, whoever made it.
Yeah. I was looking how expensive they were. Like, after I got back from your house, I was like, fuck it, I'm about to buy one of these things. This thing's awesome.
Are they very expensive?
Not as expensive as I thought, but they are for like bars. Like I saw like one of them, it's set up like where bars are filling up pitchers, and they have 5 of these things, and they're putting the pitchers on there, and then just ripping them up. I mean, it was a great idea.
Darius even got captivated by it. That's why he came in. Then he's just chucking beers all of a sudden.
That's what happens.
He had a 6:30 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
There was no way. No way he was making it.
Someone below that posted the photo of the lady who was working at McDonald's outside on. Yeah, I mean, it was perfect. There were a lot of great responses to that, too.
It was a lot of fun. I appreciate you all so much, though. Thank you. Thank you for
thank
being
you. It was
nice. Thank you for being a part of my life, and thank you for allowing this to be my life. Everybody that watches, it's a stupid one. We're going to continue to try to go down this road of dumb, though. I'll tell you that. There's a lot happening in sports, and we are going to continue to talk about it.
Hell yeah.
I will say, getting to watch other people talk about sports over the weekend, that was interesting.
Yeah, it's always a
It
pleasure.
was awesome. It was interesting. Yeah. Getting a chance to hear how, because we're kind of wrapped up in our own little world here, our own little blinders, so I don't really get a chance to hear or see what's going on in many other places other than just clips and stuff. But man, watching that draft all weekend, there's people that worked for Fox that were on NFL Network, people that worked for CBS that were on, like, it was almost like a collection of people on every single. I was enjoying watching it. Interesting. I was learning a lot about a lot of people. The draft, such a spectacular thing. I'm pumped that we have Brandon Beane on today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, general manager of the Buffalo Bills. They signed, obviously, Elam, which is a great pickup. There's this behind-the-scenes story about Elam showed up at his meeting with the Bills at the Combine with his notebook and was basically like, hey, if you guys want to see, like, the notes that I take, this is what you can look at. And they were so impressed, it seemed like, by his notebook of how he can get better, what he likes to do. I guess he is a very due diligence style player, which obviously the Buffalo Bills love. That culture they've built where they're just one coin flip. Shout out Kyle Brandt. Fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Kyle Brandt fucking killed it. Good for you, man. Not easy to get up there and do your thing. You did it for the Bills Mafia. I'm sure they're all going to be very thankful. That wing looked delicious. Good prop game in there. He absolutely crushed it. But I just think, like, the whole thought that the team that they have built up there is so good. They had so much patience early. People forget about the amount of patience that they had, not only with Josh Allen, but with McDermott and Beane as a whole. There was a turnover process where Tyrod Taylor was the starting quarterback. He got them to the playoffs for the first time in a long time, and he just wasn't what Beane and McDermott wanted to build their team around, so they moved on from making the playoffs with a brand new thing. They would go on. This is with the Patriots being in the middle or the end of their 20-year dynasty run. The patience that all of Buffalo showed in the process there, and then building the culture and building the team, and then Josh Allen from years 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, and then what the fuck did he become? Just a stud, almost a prototype of what everybody else is looking for. And if they don't, with the overtime rules, get a chance to answer there, who knows how that thing goes last year. I'm pumped to chat with him. There is no team that is sitting more pretty. Literally, they're the favorites in all the sports books, aren't they, Tony?
I believe so.
I believe they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl next year in all the sports book. It only got better. I think you lose Cole Beasley. right?
Yeah.
Lose Cole Beasley, but they got that other guy that had who's
Isaiah McKenzie.
yeah, he had
They
4
re-signed.
touchdowns or whatever. That guy, he was a touchdown scoring machine. They get Stephon Diggs back again. Josh Allen's still there. They draft a wide receiver in like the 5th round. I mean, the fucking Bills are a wagon right now.
Yeah, and I believe Josh Allen's the favorite to win the MVP, so it really is like the Bills are the ones that everyone's kind of looking at. Especially
Oh
with
no,
the Chiefs.
expectations so high. Oh,
So
no.
high.
Oh
Well,
my
and
god.
The
Oh, I
AFC
don't-
East all of a sudden is just loaded because the Pats are the Pats, and then the Dolphins, made a bunch of good moves.
Listen to me cutting a promo like I'm proving something, by the way.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yeah, no fucking shit, dude. Quarterback's the favorite to be the MVP, and the team's the favorite to win the Super Bowl, pal. You're not telling us anything we don't know. They are, though. No Pro Bowlers on the defensive side of the ball last year. Remember, that's a big-time ordeal. And they hold that on their shoulder. That is a spike chip that they keep right here. I'm excited to chat with Brandon Bean. And Jim Irsay will join us, 2:05.
Hey.
Here we go.
2:05 Eastern Standard Time. Let's
go.
He, obviously the owner of the Colts. There's a lot to chat about.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, not only, Yannick Ngakoue and Stephon Gilmore, and they've loaded up on vets and money, moving on from Carson while you're doing that. And also, I believe he has the greatest museum of stuff that the entire world has ever laid eyes. He's supplying museums with stuff.
Yeah.
This
Unreal.
guy. And there's even more taking place. I guess there's a massive auction happening for Kurt Cobain, which is raising some money. And I think I'm very pumped to chat with him in about an hour and 45 minutes or so. AJ Hawk will join us in the next hour. Town Diggs, big takeaway from the draft. Quarterback, not so much. More punters and specialists there than quarterbacks for a bit until it got later into the round. What's the big storyline you think out of the draft, Tone Diggs?
Biggest storylines. Georgia set a record with 15 players
Wow.
taken in the draft.
Jesus.
Hey, how about I think Ian Rappaport? I mean, he cut a promo on Matt Corral that none of us expected.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about. Matt Corral didn't deserve that. But he called it Georgia-Alabama light, I believe, whenever he was breaking down. He said, normally Alabama is the school that has everybody ready and prepared to be an NFLer. That's why everybody drafts them, because it's like, hey, going through Saban's thing, they already know like what preparation looks like. They know what film study looks like. They know what everything looks like to be a pro. It's been there before them. It'll be there after them. They're primed and ready to go. And I think he said this year more like an Alabama light, like Georgia has really become a school that everybody's comfortable with. And I'm sure the Georgia people are not happy about that as the reigning national champions, everything like that. But it's real. In the national spotlight, right? Alabama has been the feeder system for national championships in the NFL. Clemson had a little bit of a dance there. Alabama remained. Now Georgia's in it. Alabama remains. It's like Alabama's the constant. People have come into their world and gone out of their world. But the Georgia Bulldogs, how many people drafted?
15.
15 of their dudes drafted. 22 starters, plus 2 kickers on it, but one of their punter did get drafted. Shout out to him, by the way, Jake. Atta baby. For the punters, Jordan Stout, okay, he was the kid out of Penn State. My sources told me last week he was the most NFL ready. Ooh. So he was the most NFL ready because the ball that he hits is a high one. His drop is one that seems to be pretty proficient, feels like he's a machine, and he is yoked. So it's like he hits big balls. Everybody was telling me he was the most NFL ready right now. Matt Ariza, who I don't love the nickname. I'm going to say I don't love the nickname.
God.
I don't know who created it. But hey, listen, maybe he will be. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he does become. Shane Leckler's my punt god.
Okay.
Just want to let everybody know. Shane Leckler's the god that I pray to when I watch film to get better. That was Shane Leckler that I would. That's my punt god.
Okay.
When my punt god, blessed me with beers for trips home too. It was like,
Thank
God
you,
has
punt
blessed
god.
me.
Thank you, punt god.
Things must be going well here from the punt god. So the punt god thing is quite a smack in the face, I think, to a lot of very talented dudes that would never say that they feel like they got smacked in the face because they have too much pride and they're cool dudes that drink like beers and stuff, so they won't do it. But Shane Leckler's my punt god. Shane Leckler knows Ariza, has chatted with Ariza, knows everything about Ariza, has the same thoughts, I think, that I have, that every NFL person had whenever we watch Matt Ariza punt, and that's that his drop is not an NFL drop, okay? So this is something that I think, real inside punty stuff, and I love how athletic his dude is. I love his competitive stamina. I love how strong he is. His drop, though, and his punt swing is more line drive. I think people have talked about his hang time not being as great. He's able to murder ball 80 yards, though. So the motherfucker's got leg strength. I think he's athletic enough. He'll be able to figure out his drop, especially in Buffalo, and to make it more consistent and hit a much higher ball. I think he'll be able to do all of those things. I think he's athletic enough to do all those things. But I think that's why in the punting world, in the draft and the scouting world, he was a little bit lower than everybody else, because if he can't fix that, or maybe he's just an anomaly and he'll be able to do this when nobody else has been able to do it. But if he can't fix that minor little detail in his drop that he'll be able to work through, he's never held before either because he kicked. I had the same problem. I lied to Bill Polian. I told him I could hold. I could not. I kicked field goals for every year that I was at West Virginia. I didn't start punting till later, so I would have never done it. I was able to learn mostly just because it's an athletic thing. There are some people that have not been able to learn. Darius Butler's a guy, maybe the best athlete I've ever been around. He tried numerous times, couldn't figure it out. Matt Ariza will be able to figure it out because he's already good with his hands and everything like that. So I think there was just more, can't hold, hits a low ball, has to change his drop. Also, is that drop, how quickly can he change that drop? Like, that whole thing happens. But the guy's a gamer. He's a stud. He's competitive. He's active. So, I think that makes me believe he'll be able to figure it out and move on. Shout out to Jake Martin going down to Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. He hits a big ball. First time I seen him, I said, holy shit, that dude has an NFL leg. Now, his drop turned a little bit inside as well. He'll have to fix that. That's the difference with the NFL and college balls. College ball is a little bit more forgiving, and you don't have to hit it as high because everybody can run downfield immediately upon the ball being snapped, as opposed to in the NFL, nobody's allowed to leave the line of scrimmage until the ball is kicked. So you have to have a lot more hang time in the NFL to have your guys catch up while they run down the field. I think he'll be able to figure it out. I think all the guys that were drafted, Cade York goes early, the kicker, he goes to Cleveland. He hits a massive ball, very high, was leaving the camera on the highlights that I was watching. That means his leg strength and explosion's pretty fucking good. Also, hits the ball end over end, which is a massive deal, especially in the windy conditions of the AFC North. If you look at Tucker's so good because his ball is pure and it's able to cut through the wind. If you hit this thing perfectly end over end, it's going to cut through the wind better. There are some kickers that hit a little bit of an X ball. You see how this is out here and this is over here, a little bit oblongy, so it's coming out a little bit ugly. If that hits wind, okay, it is over. So if you see kickers that hit a very clean, Chris Boswell hits a very clean end over end ball. It's like a perfect rotation. Then there's some guys that just get a little bit off center, have very strong legs, are normally able to fight it. But if you run into a fuck you like wind, like the AFC North has, that is going to eat that ball and fucking make you miss. So the thing that I like most about Cade, he seems to hit a very powerful ball and he hits it end over end. Should be good in Cleveland, but once again, everything is a question mark on if any of these dudes will be able to translate into the fucking NFL at all positions.
How much do you think Bengals taking and being successful with Evan McPherson makes the Browns take this guy in the fourth or whatever?
Well, yeah, I would assume McPherson. I mean, if there's another McPherson out there, that'd be awesome. Yeah. That'd be amazing if people think that's a new norm. Because Cade York in his head is like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do exactly what Money Mac did, dude. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody, hey, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to make I'm having a perfect season first year. Have to have that thought. Have to, literally. You're not going out there to fail. And then, all of a sudden you run into a 30-mile-an-hour day. Mm-hmm. It's like the fact that Money Mac, Justin Tucker, and Boswell are so good in that AFC North make no sense at all. And I think we should talk about it more often, but we won't, because at the end of the day, it is,
Yeah.
A lot of things have to happen for a kicker to ever kick a ball. Now, when the kicker's kicking the ball, though, there's a lot of shit that's going on there that, I think a lot of shit gets mailed in the analysis on TV of these guys getting drafted. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the TV people had Punt God being the first marketed punter in the history of the NFL or something like that. A little bit of smack in my mouth. That's not Matt Ariza's fault, though. No. I'm not blaming Matt Ariza at all. But sometimes I think what we learned through the entire draft is a lot of the media folks don't know shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing. And then it's just clean slate afterwards. Oh, well, yeah, we didn't get them all right, but we'll just move on.
Yeah, whoops.
We do need to give credit to one person, though. Mm-hmm. Mel Kiper is...
Yeah, he had a good draft.
He
did.
Hey, and he said this is my hardest one. Yep. Not the easiest one. I didn't know a lot of superstars, but Mel Kiper did pretty well. I think we should maybe thinking about listening to Mel Kiper next year as opposed to every other narrative that was cooked. in the last month leading up to draft day. Month and a half before draft weekend, that's where all the truth's being told. Remember, quarterbacks stink. This is this. It's going to be. I think they even said it's going to be runs. A lot of guys are going to go off the board of positions and then move to the next position. They thought that was like a month and a half before the draft. That shit was being speculated, and then it got dumped on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it got dumped on over the next 5 weeks or whatever, and it changed completely. So we got to remember that for next year as well.
For a lot of people, it's entirely dependent on how you view the draft going into it and afterwards. Like if you're getting all your information from one spot, you're basing all of your expectations and then the fallout from that on like what this one person said. So if they didn't know shit to begin with, it's like, oh, maybe I do need to kind of reevaluate. Like maybe the team's scouts and personnel like have a better idea what they want to do than just this guy who's paid to talk about the draft one time a year.
Expectations are always what sets the bar for reactions. Okay? So, but teams can't be transparent at all because then they can get got by everybody else. So it's literally a system that's just going to go on and go on and go on forever, I think, because it can't be fixed. More transparency is the only way it'd be fixed, but no team's going to do that because they can potentially lose all of their fucking leverage in any trade. So we just have to ride the wave, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, to that point, like another storyline from the draft was these quarterbacks falling, but did they actually really fall, or were they where they were supposed to go?
Yeah, because a month and a half before the draft, there's maybe one first-round quarterback this year. I think we're not going to see that, and then free agency happens, and then we all assume, oh, these are the teams that are looking at a veteran free agent. They must be looking for a new quarterback. Oh, there's no more quarterbacks available other than Baker Mayfield. What's going on, Baker Mayfield?
Jimmy G too.
What's going on with Jimmy G? So then I think the natural movement is, if they were interested in a veteran quarterback, they must be looking at somebody else at the quarterback position, especially somebody who's much cheaper. These are the quarterbacks that are available for them to potentially get, here at their draft spot. This is the only people that might be left. Even though a week and a half ago we said none of these quarterbacks will be worth a first round. That is what happened, and we all bought in. Hey, we were not champions of this whole thing. We were not champions, but to our credit, we didn't know if the first thing being said was bullshit or not.
Right.
So then when the second thing came and definitely was bullshit, it's hard to depict which one's bullshit. And I think just because everybody else that we considered champions of the draft, we're buying into that as well. I think we just naturally followed suit. We need to be better next year. Hey, you hear me? Next year, I'm going to be 35 during that one.
Yeah.
That's going to be the one.
Gotta be better.
That's going to be the one. That draft season is going to be the one. The 36th trip around the sun, while being 35, that's going to be the one we're going to do.
I think one of the most interesting things with the quarterbacks that got drafted, too, they're all in an interesting situation. It's Pickett and Trubisky. It's Ritter and Mariota. It's Sam Howell and Chuck Wentz. It's Corral and Sam Darnold. It's I think that's pretty much – did I get them all there?
Bailey Zappi and
Mac Jones. So, like, everyone –
Willis.
Willis and Tannehill, see what goes on there. But they all, they're not going up against starters who are established besides Tannehill. Like, they all, if they do perform well, could have a chance to start in their rookie year at some point.
Let's go.
Yeah, not Bailey Zappi, but yeah.
Maybe, though.
Yeah, a lot of third, fourth, fifth round quarterbacks have had a lot of success in the NFL, and seventh rounders, and obviously the most famous of all time. Pick 199.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the sixth round.
That's right.
Kuiper missed that one. Kuiper also said the Patriots had the worst draft in the NFL. But hey,
Dan Orlovsky said you guys. No, was it you guys?
No,
Packers.
he gave the Packers a what the fudge plus on their picks.
Yikes!
So.
A what the fudge plus?
Yeah,
You guys are fucked.
Oh my!
which is a big I don't even know how to react today. I don't know if I should be thrilled, and I don't know if I should just be kicking myself.
You got a what the fudge plus? You're fucking furious.
Well, that I was this morning, but then we kind of just talked through it. It was like, well, does Orlovsky know what the Packers need? I don't know if he does. So, I'm kind of just reworking that right now.
He's not handing out what the fudge pluses to anybody.
I know.
He had to go through his whole grading scale. Somebody asked him. He goes A, B, C, D, E, F, WTF. Oh, but a net minus or plus. WTF plus makes it seem like a better grade.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it could have been a what the fudge minus.
Yes.
That'd be tough.
Yeah,
See?
could have been, yeah.
Yeah, if it would have been the first ever what the fudge minus. Oh,
That's not good.
Because what's next, by the way? Just like
You don't even play next year.
go to HE double hockey sticks G.
Yeah.
Like, what is? All right. Anyways.
Hey, he also said the Lions are coming for the Packers. Said you better watch out.
And that was no CAP.
No.
Exactly.
No.
All right. I mean, he is absolutely changing the game.
Yeah, he's having a day.
He's
today.
changing the game. Now, with that being said, he knows. I didn't know a lot of the motherfuckers. I didn't know any of the motherfuckers that were getting drafted. I watched it. There was people getting drafted. I'm like, oh, awesome. This seems like a guy. And then they show highlights. I'm like, all right, here we go. But then I always think of Mitt, who goes, people watching highlights, not watching film, aren't seeing the real game.
That's right.
So what are we seeing from these guys? And sometimes the way a draft pick is reported in the 5th round, in like the 6th and 7th round, which very vital to a team, 4th, 5th, 6th round, like that is pretty vital to a team on the come up, especially as somebody that was in the special teams department. Those are 4th, 5th rounders are going to make the team, going to be around for at least a year, but they're nowhere near going to have the leash that a 1st, 2nd, 3rd rounder. But if you're a 3rd, 4th, 5th rounder, probably going to get a pass, probably going to get some opportunities that other people won't. The way some of them are presented as like, oh, this is a good 5th round pick, versus some people are like, pointing at this guy, couldn't do this, couldn't do this, couldn't do this. That's why he's in the 5th round. If he could do it, I'm like, damn, can we not just show a highlight from this guy so we can see what we could potentially be getting from him? It's always interesting how they pick and choose how to report each person. And I assume that all comes from how little gems about stories of people from behind the scenes, what's being said, what's not being said. But some people, they're like, oh, this is good value for this pick. And then the next person, it looks to be, I don't know, the same exact football player as the person beforehand. And 10 years from now, that'll be the only judge. Maybe they both stink. No.
Yeah.
No, maybe they both don't. And by stink, I mean not make it in the NFL. It's just like the way the picks are talked about immediately afterwards. We have no fucking idea. We literally have no clue about any of these dudes. I guess we can hope. I guess we can hope. I guess we can assume that NFL coaches are getting better and better,
Hopefully.
and programs are being run better and better, and there's better investments off the field, and people, extra effort and extra work and extra tape is just going to continue to happen naturally for every single player, and that drive to not want to do anything but become good at a position, that's just going to happen for everybody now, I assume, because social media exists. Like, I don't know. The way everybody's talked about as being a definite success early, and then it seemed like a lot more of the people towards the end as being failures, and I understand the percentages say that, but man, all of these dudes could be Hall of Famers, and all of these dudes could stink. And I guess that's why there's so much intrigue, because who the fuck knows?
That's a good point, though, because I wasn't even thinking about it, but a lot of, like, on day 3, them talking about, a guy goes somewhere, and it's like, oh, this is a great fit. He's going to be great here. And then another guy goes, and it's like, what a massive reach. It's why? It really does. It's like, then immediately you're just thinking, like, oh, this guy stinks. There's no way he's going to make the team.
So we actually have a clip from Shanahan and John Lynch talking about this entire thing. Just as people's expectations of the draft are strictly off of what the media is depicting of what the teams are actually doing. And Shanahan, who's been around this literally since what? He's wearing like little baby shoes.
Yeah, wearing diapers.
Out the womb.
He was probably pooping and peeing in a diaper in the NFL through this entire thing. This is what he had to say alongside John Lynch about the entire expectation and draft ratings going into the draft.
The thing for us is when you ask the question like where you think they're going, or do you think you overwent? I mean, everyone understands, everyone ranks guys, and there's a perception of when everyone's going to go, but the reality of when someone's going to go is when someone picks them, and you don't know that till it happens. You see it all over when people freak out and stuff, but a lot of these guys are really good players. I saw that with New England in the first round. That guy's doesn't surprise me at all, or us. Surprised you based off of perception, because you knew everyone in the world was saying there was no way, but everyone watched that tape, they're like, but he looks like a first rounder. Who's going to pull the trigger? And you never know when that one person is, because you're hoping the other 32 teams are saying, no, we've all read this, he's not going till the 3rd round. Well, that's why someone takes him in the 2nd round, because he looks like a 2nd rounder, or he looks like a 1st rounder, and we all try to figure that out too. But it only takes one team, and that's why you don't want to mess around and be too cute with that.
So basically what he just said is it's all bullshit, what you're hearing going in.
Yeah.
And they all know that going in. There's good players that everybody can see on film, but where they're going to end up at, who's going to love them more than others, is a game that's very difficult for us outside to try and predict. I wonder what it's like on the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, a man who just got through another NFL draft. His team appears to be packed to the gills. Drafting Elam in the first round was a game changer, said the folks online. Then we saw a clip of Elam bringing his notebook to his meeting with the Bills at the Combine. Then on the call to tell him he was being drafted, he said, please send the playbook on the plane to pick me up. What a stud that is hopefully going to fit into the culture that this man has built. Ladies and gentlemen, the general manager for the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane.
Yeah!
What's up,
Appreciate that.
Hey, how many beers Sunday night with the entire scouting department? A lot? Is that a celebration?
Saturday night was good. Yeah, we usually break out the booze in the draft room. We move the computers out of the way, make sure the IT guy's not mad at us for spilling on it. But yeah, it was a good time. Have some laughs, break some balls.
Yeah, that's Super Bowl, right? Draft is Super Bowl for some people in your building. Not everybody, but some people in your building. That is literally what their entire yearly plan is up to. So it should be treated accordingly with a successful celebration.
No doubt. Hopefully you're excited. If not, you screwed up the last 11 months because it is an 11-month process. We start in late May, already working on next year's crop. So it's a long process, and it's always good to laugh. And we have a lot of banter through the process. Like scouts going, this guy, I promise you, he's going in the first round, and then people are going to the board like, I guarantee you, I'll bet you whatever he doesn't go in the first round, and then you get it teamed up. So we kind of. We divvy those up after the draft. It's pretty fun.
Okay, so that leads me to the point that Kyle Shanahan was making there. There is a lot of conversation from the outside looking in, and I guess we're a part of it now. So I would, I guess from us and the likes of us about who's going to draft who. It seems like even in the rooms, all the way up until draft week, your draft board and your draft grade on players are changing throughout. And how could anybody fucking know what's going on outside of their building? Do you guys have to rely on other insiders? Do you watch TV? Does that give you anything? Like, how do you know what other people are thinking, or does none of that matter?
Well, I think sometimes you go off of history. Let's say you have a player that you graded in the third round in the fall. That's the consensus. But he goes to, and you kind of think this guy's going to be a 4.45 corner, and all of a sudden he goes to Indy and he runs 4.32 or 4.3, something like that. Then it starts like, dude, he's still this good of a player, but the other guy's like, yeah, but he runs 4.3. Somebody's going to take him in the first round, or whatever. You get into some of those things, or I'm telling you, he's had multiple GMs at his pro day. Like, these guys are after him. He's going to go higher than you think.
What did you see in Elam that made you fall in love with him? That clip from the Combine with his notebook, giving it to you, I don't know if that was from the season, from a week of his season, or what it was, but what did you immediately see that you're like, yep, this dude needs to be a Bill?
Yeah, I mean, just the wiring. I mean, you want to make sure it's authentic. Like, as we checked into him, like, it's not just trying to win, the 15-minute interview. But
hey, look at all these fucking.
That he made all those notes on the plane like he did them all season. But no, what his book was him watching opposing receivers in the SEC that he was going against. Just his notes of how he was going to play them, what they do well, and so yeah, it was legit. And it's it's from University of Florida, all that stuff, and it matches up with who he is. All the sources that we have in Florida, this guy loves ball. His dad played, his uncle Matt played. Like, he's grown up around the game, knows what it takes, and obviously his skill set's really good. He's over 6 foot. He ran right at 4.4. And he's a press man guy, but also can play off. We just like the flexibility he'll bring our defense.
Hey, I think generational shit matters, by the way. Like, I think if you have seen it before, like even the guys who have parents that are in other professional sports, like if you've been around it, I think it is a massive advantage. Honestly, I do believe that.
Yeah, I agree. Just the transition, his uncle and his dad can tell him, like, college is this, but when you walk in that NFL locker room, it's different. This is what you need to expect, and you better be ready to roll.
Yeah, that's a huge ordeal, I think, and I'm happy that you even thought about that when you're looking. I guess you would have to with everybody. Last question from me about the draft, and I know the boys will probably have some. We can't thank you enough for joining us. You take Matt Araiza, okay? Here we go. Now we're talking about, hey, there's been questions, obviously. I've talked around the NFL. I didn't want to interrupt anybody's real scouting process, but he was getting a lot of hype, and I'd watched it last fall, and he's a freak athlete. athlete. He's tough. It seems like he's super competitive, which are all things that I love. And he has a massive leg. People were worried about his drop a little bit and his ball flight from what I was told. I think he's athletic enough to figure it out. I feel like that is how you viewed it as well. Was that top player left on your board when you drafted him, or did you have plans on drafting a punter no matter what?
Well, we had some guys, him being one of them, and several guys got drafted. Two of them went in the 4th round. So that shows you the value of where people see certain punters. Honestly, we thought when the 2 went in the 4th, and we had a 5th, and we still had some guys on there. We took the kid from Boise that we thought no way Matt would still be there. But when we got to the top of the 6th, we just felt like the value met. It's worth a shot here. He's raw, but he's got a lot of talent, a big leg, as you said. He's a competitive dude, Pat. If you've watched any of his film, like, he's worried about his net average. He's chasing some of the cover guys down to get him down. Like, he wanted that net average to be high.
Yeah, I think he'll figure it out. That's like going into other positions. Like, oh, we think this guy has a competitive level enough that he'll want to work on it and figure it out. That's said at other positions. I think it can happen at punter as well. I didn't know how to punt, basically, when I got drafted to punt. Bill Polian was like, we think you're athletic enough to figure it out. I feel the same way with Ariza. I honestly feel that way. It is going to be a little bit of a process, I think, but I'm excited to see what he does up there. Your weather, ain't nobody want to punt up there. So if that motherfucker can figure it out, good luck,
Well, you know what? It's like being on the golf course. Just tee her high and let her fly. We'll see how he does.
How is the golf game? You getting into that right now, or what are you focusing on right now? Is it free agency, or do you get a little time off? What do you do with everybody?
So we'll do a little bit of staffing. We got rookie minicamp in a week, but after we get through with that rookie minicamp, hopefully the weather will be perfect here in Buffalo, and I can start catching up on all the rounds I've missed since last July.
How's the game going to be, you think? I got a new swing. Hey, I got a new swing coming into this golf season, I feel like. I've been working on it in the house. Yeah, I'm coming out of the pocket. a little bit. I think I'm going to start shaping some.
I love it. Keep that elbow inside. But no, it's fun. I got a little guy that I got a guy that works with me, so I'm looking forward to getting out there and making sure my swing's ready to roll. I'm going to Scotland in June to play, so it's gonna be fun. Yeah. We got 8 of us that are heading over there, so it's gonna be a good time.
Oh, I believe that is a big time whiskey. I think, hey, that should be that's like a dream bucket list type trip. Hope you enjoy it. Last question from me before the boys. Happy about draft class? Has there ever been a draft class you guys weren't happy about, or is everybody happy after every single draft? Because it's like it played out how it played out. We got who we got. We like who we like. Is that what it always is?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think if you're one of those teams, if you didn't have multiple high picks, maybe you're like, we didn't really add any huge players. Maybe we just got some depth back end players. But you're right. You shouldn't be drafting players that you're not excited about. So I've never talked to someone who's like, man, we had a shitty weekend. We really screwed it up. Hopefully next year.
Yeah, we didn't like any of those guys. I mean, they were forced. Yeah. They had a shot clock on us, man. Hey, was there a lot of movement this year? Hey, was there more calls being made this year than in years past?
As far as for trades?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of calls for trades. Really, the only pick that I really don't remember the phone ringing was our 7th and our 3rd. Other than that, it seemed like every pick the phone was ringing to either go up or go back.
They wanted yours, or they were trying to get you to get theirs?
Both, but sometimes both. Sometimes people are calling you saying, "Hey, we'll take your, will you move up? Like they're ahead of us. Will you move up so that we can add your 5th round pick or your 6th round pick?" But we also had some people calling. We traded down twice in the 2nd to add a 6th. We had some people calling there. One of them wanted like a future pick, and we weren't going to get anything now. It really didn't make sense for us.
How's it work? You just answer the phone. There's one phone, one for up, one for down, and everybody's on, or how's it go?
No, so I had a couple guys. So my college director, Terrence Gray, he's our assistant director of player personnel now, and Brian Gain, former GM at Houston. Those 2 guys were kind of my liaisons. They're tracking stuff, and then sometimes my phone's ringing or I'm getting a text from one of the GMs. Hey, would you guys be interested in moving up or back? If so, you jump on the phone and you start looking at your trade chart and see what makes sense.
Oh, man, that sounds exciting. That sounds like a great weekend. Go ahead, Ty.
Brandon, a lot of people have talked about how this specific draft class, there were a few guys that were maybe head and shoulders above the rest, but after that, there was kind of just like a big pool of talent in the center. Did it make it more stressful because of that? Or do you kind of, when you're looking at things and you've done all your due diligence leading up, like, do you fall in love with guys a little bit easier maybe because there isn't like a clear-cut guy that you should be taking?
Yeah, I think it honestly it made it easier because you had those top picks, but there wasn't the premium level, let's call it quarterbacks or pass. You didn't see the Myles Garretts, the Chase Youngs, those types of guys. So some top corners up there and some offensive tackles, but beyond that, it dropped off pretty quick to where the talent, and more depending on what you're looking for, you could kind of go positions of need maybe early. You're going to be able to find somebody with a similar skill, talent level. So after we took the corner, we really were able to kind of just let the board. We felt at most rounds that we could go offense or defense with what was on the board at the time. So I kind of like, if I was in the top 10, you want those premium players, but being where we were, I was fine with the way it was because there was a lot of players that just wasn't the elite top tier guys.
You're hoping it's like that forever.
Yeah, I want to be picking 32. I'm tired of picking in the 20s.
Hey, if there was a different overtime rule.
That's right.
Hey, what were your thoughts on Kyle Brandt? Hey, Kyle Brandt cut a good promo up there. That was good.
Oh, yeah, he that was entertaining. I was not sure what he was going to do. We knew he was going to do the pick, but that was like WWE style and pulling the chicken wing out that had been in his pocket for whatever 3 or 4 days. That had to be that was pretty entertaining. Hopefully it went down his stomach pretty well.
Yeah, real commitment to the bit. We respect it.
Yep.
Thought he crushed it. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Brandon, what's the process like with signing the undrafted guys? Do you kind of have a projection of who you think probably will, not get drafted? And do you tell those guys, like, hey, if, you don't get picked up, we're going to come after you and we want you in Buffalo still?
Yeah, you kind of look at your board, maybe guys 6th, 7th rounders and guys that you've just taken off your board, and you have your own kind of stack of those guys, a week ago from now. So, you start before the draft and you call, you check in with those guys and say, listen, I hope you get drafted. You wish them well, but if something doesn't happen, we really think you'd be a great fit here. And that's kind of your initial, get them thinking about, how they would fit Buffalo Bills, whether they're an offensive player playing with Josh Allen or one of our defensive players.
How about the contract for them? Back in the day, it was different maybe than it is now because with the new CBA, isn't every single draft pick basically slotted cash-wise, like, hey, this is the amount of money, bum, bum, bum. And then undrafted free agents, isn't there some wiggle room? Don't they have some leverage every once in a while? Don't some of the undrafted free agents get some leverage?
Yeah, so you get two things. One, you can max out. So the league sends you a number that's agreed upon with the union where, like this year, it was around 100. We can spend in signing bonuses, cumulative, $166 million. So we can spread that out over 10 guys or 2 guys or 3, however you want to do it.
God.
The other nuance that can be negotiated is guarantee. How much do I want to guarantee? And you guarantee that with offset. So if I guarantee a guy $50,000 of his paragraph 5, if we cut him and he goes to another team, we're not going to be on the hook for that $50,000. They'll pick it up. Or if he goes to practice squad, he's going to work that off over several weeks' time. So that's kind of how – those are the two things that can be negotiated by an agent.
Hey, salary cap, got some wiggle. What are your? This is a huge conversation right now, as you know. You're one of the men that is in charge of building an incredible roster right now. Now, you just signed Diggs, right? I don't know if we've talked to you since you signed him. Congratulations.
Yeah. Appreciate
Congratulations.
That. Glad to get that done.
Yeah, well, you got Josh done, you got Diggs done, you got Von Miller done on the defensive side of the ball. It feels like, a lot, I don't want to say a lot of the big pieces are in for a while, but it does feel that way. How do you project the next 10 years in the salary cap? Because does anybody know right now how big it can get? It's bigger than it's ever been, and it's only going to grow. Hey, Apple's going to get involved. They're already trying to get involved. Google's going to get involved. Maybe Netflix going down. Amazon's in there. Sports gambling's only going to grow. That's only going to get bigger. The amount of money that's going to come into the NFL that's going to grow that salary cap, is there any proper projections that you guys are all hearing, or are you just kind of guessing whenever you're deciding to backload deals a little bit?
Yeah, you're trying to guess. You're trying to forecast. COVID totally screwed that up with it going backwards. We're still Went back 18 million, a year ago. So we're still kind of behind. We're at 208 this year. We should be probably more like 225 to 230. So we're still behind. And they took some of the benefits from the players that we still have to repay back to keep the cap high enough last year during COVID. So there are some things that, even though all those things you mentioned are happening, which are great for the league and great for the cap, I do think it's going to get there. I don't know what it'll be next year. We get some projections, but they don't ever give us too much because they want to try to control our spending.
And they also want to keep it competitive, right? Because some places won't go as much as everybody else. So keep that information out of that motherfucking Bean's head. All right? We don't need his ass out there on the phones. We ain't doing nothing around here.
They know their personnel, Pat.
Go ahead, Tone.
Brandon, how much does pedigree come into your draft process and how you look at a player? You obviously take Dalvin Cook's brother and James Cook. The Steelers have 4 pairs of brothers on their team. You have one of the Edmonds on your roster. How much does pedigree come? If they have a brother, if they have a dad who played, does that come into your scouting process?
Yeah, we were talking about that with Elam too, with his dad and his uncle. It definitely, I look at it as a bonus because it's like the answers to the test. You already kind of know. These people are walking you through. You've been around. Obviously, with James Cook, he's been around his brother Dalvin. That's some of the stuff we talked about with James when he came in here for his 30 visit. Like, what has Dalvin taught you about the league, the difference between college and pro, and the same thing with Kyer. So it's an added bonus anytime you're looking at a player that brother, uncle, father, whoever's played in the league.
Hey, what could go wrong on those 30 visits you get? Has anybody ever had a bad one with you nowadays that everybody's kind of prepped on everything? I mean, is it not a yes, sir, no, sir operation with everybody at all times almost during those visits, or is there some outliers?
No, I think what happens is with me, it's yes, sir, no, sir, with McDermott, maybe the coach, but we try and put them around a lot of people, from who picks them up at the airport, who picks them up and takes them to a restaurant to meet the coaches. Like, how were they in the car? Were they on the phone all the time? Were they engaging? Did they ask legit questions? We'll have them meet with our player engagement, our training staff. We may ask them to do some things like get on the scales, height, weight, just different things. Were they cooperative during their whole visit? So we'll assign a pro scout to each person that we bring in, just to kind of be their escort, their chaperone through the building as they're here the day. And at the end of that, they'll kind of send me a quick little recap of how their visits went and what people said about them. And you hope it's with flying colors, but sometimes you'll get some feedback that not everybody in the building really liked this guy.
Equipment manager said this guy was quite an asshole, actually. Well, that means a lot, though. That's a huge ordeal. That's a little bit of that's not something you could pick up in an interview, especially if somebody's been completely prepped. Or it might not be something you could pick up from a college's coaches either, because the coaches know that if that guy goes to the NFL, it looks good on the whole entire program. That's a piece of information that you can literally only find out at that point. That's smart. How do you think... And we were talking about this. Do you pay attention to the day-to-day sports cycle, media cycle, or no?
NFL wise, I try to. I don't necessarily, not necessarily all sports.
Man, it is so much bullshit, man. It like everything that was a month and a half before the draft turned out to be accurate. A month and a half before the draft, it was like, there's only maybe one first-round quarterback. These quarterbacks, none of them are a first-round grade. I think they were even talking about runs in certain positions like a month and a half. And then it all just becomes complete bullshit. All the way up until the draft, everything just becomes... It has to be that way, huh? Because you guys were all trying to gain leverage on everybody at all times?
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of games people are playing. And you got agents calling around, asking you where they think their guy's going. And you're like, I don't know, he's probably a third-day guy, and some of them will try and say, oh, he's not getting out of the second round. And you're like, okay, well, if someone's that excited about him, take him. He's not going to be a Buffalo Bill in the second round. But that's just, you get a lot of that stuff. And sometimes agents are concerned. They hear, hey, my guy has, people are complaining about his knee at the combine. Like, it never swells on him. It never, and they have a doctor send you a note, but sometimes is the doctor, does he have an agenda too protect this agent or the player. So you
yes.
still have to go off of your doctor and what he says, but you'll get some last minute stuff when people see their guy falling, trying to kind of move him back up.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out how not to fall for it again next year. But I feel like we're going to be hook, line, and sinker again.
Yeah.
It's gonna
There's some stories that they're hard not to believe, but you're right. There's so much bullshit out there. It's just it's best to ignore it all.
Well, not with old Brain and Bean, though. Hey, none of that bullshit. Except for maybe on the course next week when they get out after the rookie minicamp. We can't thank you enough for joining us. You are the best. Thank you for your time, and congrats on a great draft weekend.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me, Pat.
Ladies and gentlemen, General Manager of the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Bean. Hi, we got to get to a break. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best.
Good draft talk there.
It was.
Great draft.
He's a great guy.
Probably no more needed now.
No, yeah. Kind of close the book on it.
Move on.
Well,
He is keeping up with day to day, though. Has to, he says.
Yeah.
That's because he is a guy that if he hears something's going on, he will make a call.
That's right.
He always chums.
He is. I'm always chumming. Always chumming, Jerry says. They didn't really do much. They didn't do much trading or anything.
No,
Yeah,
it's pretty,
so we're with the Pats with the worst draft.
In the WTF?
Rankings wise.
Oh,
yes.
wow. Hour two on the other side. WTF plus stuff. Hit it. I
Yep,
think.
nailed it.
All right.
They're-
Orlovsky has responded to his WTF.
Is that right?
What'd he say?
I don't recall. It wasn't like of bitterness or anything. It was,
Oh, okay.
It was of quick wit, I believe.
Of course.
Classic.
I watched a session this weekend.
Uh-huh.
It's hard for me not just to tell everybody, and I already did kind of, but just saying fuck off to everybody.
Yeah.
Damn it.
What a fucking play.
Yeah, I'm pumped for you to get caught up too, because it starts to really go after.
Yeah,
the
I'm
first
only
season.
down one season. I'm entering season 2 here probably tonight, you know, unless the Pens are playing tonight.
No, they're tomorrow.
Of course.
You're gonna want to watch the Bruins though, because Pasta's back.
Bruins are playing tonight?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
rolling.
Secession season 2 tonight.
There you go.
Bruins as a dog tonight, my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, well, that's because, that team stinks.
Well,
That is why.
Lightning
know.
as a dog tonight, my friend. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you're saying there is some money to be had this evening in the NHL playoffs? Good.
Absolutely, my
Lightning
friend.
Leafs matchup will be absolutely electric. That is the one to watch tonight.
What time's that game on?
7:30.
yeah, bees are at 7.
Is Austin Matthews back?
Austin Matthews is back. 60 goal scorer this year. Good American lad.
Sheesh.
He needs to go play well in the playoffs, right? That's what everybody says.
Big time.
That whole team.
Fucking Pens get to wipe the floor with the Rangers. That's cool.
I believe the
yeah.
Leafs haven't won a series since 2004.
Oh, sheesh.
How about the Red Wings? They haven't won a series since 1999.
Oh,
What's your guys' hashtag, Foxy?
Hashtag LGRW.
No,
Hashtag we
Red
suck.
Hashtag we just fired our coach. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't deserve that. Where's the Golden Knights at? They in there?
Oh yeah.
I'm not a
Who
fan
they
anymore,
playing?
so who cares?
Stoner.
They had a shot. They missed the playoffs, and now I just don't care anymore.
1 year this team doesn't make the playoffs and you're out.
That's right. Hey, I'm used to winning. Okay, in Vegas, we're used to winning.
Damn.
I see Texas hockey.
In the mix, my friend.
That's a tough
We'll take the
matchup.
Flames. Dahn. We ain't worried.
Calgary's tough this year.
Calgary
They're good.
is
They're a
tough
good
this
team.
year.
Texas
Johnny
hockey's
Hockey.
got grit. They've been there before.
They got a couple guys from Saskatchewan.
Yep, Saskatoon,
Yeah.
couple
Donald?
Manitoba boys as well.
Really?
Yeah, they got a couple big dogs from up there. Yeah.
Damn.
They're also they got a couple guys from Newfie.
Yeah, a couple
yeah.
Newfies on the
Finland?
Got a
roster.
couple of
Yep.
Newfies.
Newfies always
Couple-
play well.
Oh my God, they'll get after it too.
The
They'll drink.
Stars are plus 250 underdogs.
Jesus.
That team stinks.
Yeah. Money to be made, my friend.
That team
Not
stinks.
giving them a chance.
The Pens have a goalie now. So
Yeah.
Louis Domingue.
Louis.
no. Louis, I understand Louis doesn't
Fan favorite, obviously.
deserve any of the things that are about to come out of my mouth. I want to see Louis on that ice one fucking time.
Oh no! What happened?
We got a guy. Just shutout after shutout after shutout after shutout. That's all he
Brick wall.
does.
Talking about Cossey to Smith.
Yes, champion goaltender.
Oh, to Smith.
Yeah, Casey DeSmith.
Yeah, he's a good player.
It's a great graphic, Dirty.
Dirty.
Oh, baby, Dirty.
Bees are going all the way.
Do they reseed after the first round, or is it bracket?
It's bracket, right? Like we play the winner of the Penn
I'll
series.
tell you what, they've changed the playoff format so many times in the past
Hey,
couple years.
figure it out, Hockey. We'd like to get behind it because the NHL playoffs are actually electrifying. It would be nice to be able to just easily describe what is happening.
Yeah,
It
no,
would.
they're not. That'll be it right there.
Okay.
They won't reseed.
Who
It's a
won?
great graphic then, Dirty.
Yeah. Who won the President's Trophy this year?
Fucking Sidney Crosby.
Florida Panthers.
The Panthers? What a joke.
They thought about getting
Crosby almost.
Because he had the entire team on his back.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were thinking, hey, let's just give it to Crosby.
Yeah, they were thinking about doing it for the first time ever.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
He's going to win the Conn Smythe, though.
Yes, exactly.
No, Pasta is going to win the Conn Smythe, okay?
No, he's a con. Okay.
Yeah, a con for goalies because he's always robbing them blind.
No.
Yeah.
Con for the fans because he's always robbing you guys.
No.
Pasta ain't going to show up.
No, you know what? Lock it in. Bet of the year. Pasta goal and the Bruins to win tonight.
Cementing his skates after the
Easy.
injury.
Can we boost that? Who are they playing again? Put that thing back
We're
up.
playing the fucking Hurricanes, and they have a backup goalie. Nick told me like 10 minutes before the show.
So the Bruins and Hurricanes played 3 times this season. The Bruins scored 1 goal in those 3 games against Carolina.
But now,
Playoffs is a different series, a different season. Carolina's starting goalie is not playing tonight.
And Pasta wasn't playing in the 3 games we played the Hurricanes.
He's played in a couple of them.
Well,
you just lied.
I don't
You just blatantly lied. We're in the middle of a fact-telling scene right now, and you just blatantly lied right there.
I think Nick's numbers might be wrong. I believe he left the game the first time they played, and then the next 2 times he said, you know what, I'm not playing against these scumbags anymore until the playoffs.
And he said this is a playoff-like matchup.
Yeah, I'm not wasting my fucking time.
What are you going to say, Foxy?
Well, I was going to say hockey's over in about 1 week. Is that what I'm seeing right now from this?
What?
That's what I'm seeing right now. You guys are underdogs. Bruins are underdogs. Hockey's over in a week. Good season.
What?
Good season.
Fox, you're not the Red Wings, so we're not going to get
season.
swept.
Well, the Pens have their last few times in the playoffs. That has actually been the Pens' MO the last couple times.
All right, until this year.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how I feel about the boys.
What?
Put Louis Domingue at left wing if he's not going to be fucking playing goalie.
Seriously, he is.
Dude's got dangles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes,
Silky mitts.
bro, he goes top bins, bro.
Oh.
Top bins.
Picking corners.
I just learned about top bins this weekend in my comment section. Anyways, we'll be back in about 5 minutes with Hour 2. AJ Hawk will join us. No guest in Hour 2, but Hour 3, we'll see. Jim Irsay, big thanks to Brendan Bean. You're awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Brendo.
He was awesome.
Yeah, he's a man.
He said a lot in there.
Mm-hmm. Always does.
AJ Hawk will react to everything that happened in the world. About 4 minutes. That is something you're going to want to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everything that happened in the entire world. AJ Hawk will react to it on the other side of this break.
Appreciative of celebrity fans that come out. But there are just simply some that are like, oh, we're from here. This is what we do. We root for this team. That's not the case here. And that's why I wanted you on here.
Nobody wants to play the Blues in the playoffs. We're a heavy team. We're mean and we're relentless, and that they don't play hockey like that anymore. Especially the the high flying teams. Then all of a sudden the playoffs happen, and you guys see it. The heavy teams. All of a sudden nobody wants to play them. Nobody likes playing the Sharks a couple years ago. Nobody liked playing the Blackhawks back in the old days, and it's just it's a different beast, and we're built for it.
You know what, Hammer? I love the way you do this. You talk. He knows his shit, guys. I told you this. Like,
And then like the '80s happened, and Hully happened, and Shanahan happened, and Scott. We had so many great players come through our organization that, and lost them in the weirdest, most Byzantine, awful ways of stupid trades and bad arbitration, and and then we lose Shanahan, we get Pronger, and everybody hates Pronger, and then Pronger becomes an all-star, and then we of course we don't win with him, but he wins that Anaheim or wherever he won, and you're just like, we can't. We're snake bit, and then something like 2019 happens, and it's all worth it. So I just been around long enough. Like that's really it. Through Steiner, I was inducted into the Blues alumni kind of unofficially / officially. They gave me one of these bad boys.
Oh,
so
look at that! Got you one of these.
I feel pretty strong about that.
Hey, can we see that one more time? That thing was beautiful. Look at that thing.
I genuinely enjoy going to hockey games. I never played. I played pickup hockey. I can skate. I can go forwards and backwards. But I never really played. I wasn't raised with a lot of money. Hockey equipment's expensive. We're not in Canada where it's like, everybody's got 10 brothers and hand-me-downs and whatnot. I was an only child. I just love the game, and I love talking about it. I love watching it. I've turned my girlfriend on it, and her sister and their friends. They love it. They've become Blues fans. It's like of course, the first year that they're Blues fans, they win the fucking Stanley Cup, and you're like, okay, listen, this is not how it goes.
You don't know the pain. You don't know the pain. You don't
please let
deserve
me disabuse you of that notion. Too sweet.
You kind of played the heel at the All-Star game, and I loved it. I loved it. What
the absolute best.
There's quite a bit of backlash from that.
I took a little heat, but I think first of all that it's a ridiculous thing, whatever that thing is. It's like it's a Carrot Top's involved. There you go, done.
Oh no!
I mean, come on. There's literally a ventriloquist dummy next to me. I'm sorry, the credibility is completely shot.
Yeah,
but
John Gumpy's got his request with a sequel to The Town. I have a rather simple, adequate request. I hope, and I'm begging you, I'm asking you, man, please start rocking some underwear more, because you're putting the rest of us out here to shame. Paparazzi pics and everything, and the chatter online. It's a lot, and I'm happy for you, and I'm proud for you.
Hey, look,
you're killing.
We all have our cross to bear, man.
For our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show, Hour 2. On this glorious May 2nd, 2022, shall commence immediately following this beat drop. From Twine.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
What? Welcome to the show. If that's your first couple seconds watching or listening, we do apologize. We have Jim Irsay joining us 1 hour from now, owner of the Indianapolis Colts. Can't wait to chit-chat with him about, what's going on with the team, how he feels, big investments in the free agency this offseason, also fresh off a draft. How is Jim Irsay doing as a human? He has a museum that travels around and tours as a rock band.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Awesome. Might be one of the coolest things going right now. I'm excited to ask him about that because he has these little pop-up shows. I don't know, like in front of the Washington Monument, in front of
Lincoln Memorial.
I think so. Out in L.A., he just popped up at some place, and he has like the original Buddhist temple thing.
Oh yeah,
right across the middle. He has the Beatles, all their drum sets and all their guitars out. He has like wax figures of people that have been autographed and stories and tales. And then in the back, he has a collection of all your rock stars basically playing in a jam band. And they're playing music.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
If you were a billionaire, like that's one way to go about doing it.
Yeah.
That is certainly one way to go about doing it and enjoying it while building a hell of a football team. Toxic Table's here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Tone Diggs is here. And joining us from an attic in Ohio, a man who's going to react to everything happening in the entire world right now, AJ Hawk. Hey! What's going on, AJ?
What's up, bud? Happy birthday. Big day for you, huh?
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is. Large
I haven't seen your post yet where you got to say, hey, what's up? I didn't know that Dwayne Johnson had the same birthday as me. Happy birthday, Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne, David Beckham, the Queen, I believe.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've been buried.
The Queen of England?
I think so, yeah, I believe.
Congrats, man.
Well, I mean, what is your deal?
Yeah.
There was others
That's
on
pretty cool to share a birthday. I mean, first with Dwayne Johnson, who I would assume is one of your heroes growing up, for sure, especially now with the Queen as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, and then the eyebrow-raising presidential candidate doing. I mean, he is obviously a legend out there. They're opening a second Terramana distillery.
Wow. Can't wait.
Yeah, he was there this weekend. He was there this weekend on site.
That's awesome.
Good so good.
Yeah, man, it's only going to be, I mean, Young Rock Season 2 is crushing it.
So of course.
Terramana has sold more than anybody else.
Hell yeah.
The best waffles in the game.
Oh, the French toast, they think, too.
Yeah. His superhero movie's coming out this year.
Oh, let's go. Things are only getting better for Dwayne.
Fast and Furious franchise is falling apart without him.
Whoa!
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right. Director left the set.
Hey, happy birthday, Rock.
Happy birthday, dude.
We appreciate everything you've done, man. Happy birthday, Rock. Happy birthday, David Beckham.
Happy birthday, David.
Keep ending it, bro.
David Beckham. I believe a few others as well, but thank you for that. I'm very lucky and fortunate to survive another year. This last year was absurd. I can't wait to see what these next 365 hold. Hopefully, I'm a much better golfer then than I am now because AJ, with just a few months left before this Tahoe tournament, I have yet to go back out onto a golf course. That is a little bit of a struggle right now, AJ.
Yeah, I'd say especially with your schedule, it's a little tough. You got to really jam in like short practice times, probably either like early in the morning or maybe later at night.
Well, with the draft, everything going on in the draft this weekend and a surprise birthday party that I found out about a couple hours before that just turned into a birthday party, that was a great time. Fucking great time. But that's going to knock you out Sunday afternoon at least because of how many beers were had the night before. We were having beers, AJ. Hey, we were having...
Just beers? You didn't have makers?
Well, there was a little Gentleman Jack there as well. I believe some people had that. A lot of tequila was up there. Some vodka. A lot of beer. More
Did you go
beer.
swimming? Was the pool open?
Well, it turned out I found out that I have fountains in my pool, which is cool. I'm fucking high society, dude. Don't know how to say it. I moved into this house and learned a lot. Kegerator with a bottoms up tab. Game changer. You put the cup on the... Lorenzo, I am so sorry. I almost did that. This is the top of the keg here. There's a kegerator. Then this is the tap, and you put your cup down in it. The thing goes into the cup and fills your beer up all the way up, and then you move it. And it's like the perfect ice cold beer, basically.
Yeah.
It is so good.
And you just happen to have one at the house?
Yeah, I moved in. The guy who lived there before me had one, and it was left there.
So is it special cups that you got to put on there?
Yeah, it comes with specialty cups.
I think I've seen that like at a really nice bar one time.
Dumbest thing of all time. It's so the beers are so good.
Oh my god!
And the process is hilarious. You know what I mean? Like the whole watching a fucking movie.
Did you get your Jaegerator for Christmas or for your birthday?
What's that, pal?
What? I thought someone was getting you a Jaegerator.
Is that what you get? Did you give me a Jaegerator?
No, honestly, there is something coming tomorrow to you. It's not a Jaegerator.
Hey, supply chain has been awesome for gift giving, by the way. Yeah, I know there's a lot of knocks on supply chain because a lot of things are coming late and stuff like that, and we're trying to build the Thunderdome right now, so it is a nightmare. It's an excuse for everything.
It is.
Hey, happy birthday! Gifts on a what supply chain? I mean, that fucking boat with the dock, with the shipping, the trucking, Evergreen, the wintergreen, the whole thing. I mean, I think it's on that boat actually. So it's not in Suez Canal right now, but it'll be here in a little bit. I ordered it 2 weeks ago though. I was thinking about you. I was so happy for your birthday. Like that can happen now. Everybody can use it. So shout out to supply chain.
Shout out.
With that being said, don't worry about it, AJ. You already gift us enough whenever you come on this show every single day and spill the goods. The Packers. Okay, in Dan Orlovsky's grading scale, didn't get an A. No. Didn't get a B.
Nope.
Nor a C or a D.
Nope.
Always skipped E. Never really made sense to me. They got a WTF plus, which is better than a WPF or WTF negative. Your thoughts on the Packers draft? And Aaron told us exactly what they were going to do while he was on the first round with us, and they did exactly what he said. So, what are your expectations? I guess Dan, or is Dan right here?
Well, I don't exactly know how to judge WTF plus what that means, but it is what the fudge, correct?
Yes.
And is he just saying he is confused that why they didn't trade up and higher into the first round and get a receiver or what?
Well, see, I thought he was like optimistic because the plus was on it. I thought it was like, what the fuck? Like as a positive, but they said it was negative.
No, yeah, he pretty much was saying that he thought that they should have used at one or two of their first day picks on a receiver.
Okay.
Because they didn't score in the NFC Championship last year, and these guys, like the defense isn't the issue. Adding these guys doesn't really.
WTF, dude. WTF.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I wonder how he came up with that when they said, hey, we want you to submit like grades for each team or for these teams and how they did in the draft. I don't know if that was on like the Scantron as one of the multiple choice questions.
Oh. Did he create it or somebody mention it to him? You know how you say, like,
He
what
had
the
to create
fudge?
that.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
No, he says what the fudge, like in real life, which is something to get past. He's the only person I've ever actually had numerous conversations with in a friendship way that say, like the way he speaks. You know what I mean? AJ? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I have some friends like that too. Yeah, you just got to accept it, man.
Some.
Don't be judging. Don't be judgy.
I can't because they want to say, fuck, you're an adult. Just say
Yeah,
it.
that's what I always say, like, if you're going to do it, just say, like, yeah. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's almost like, hey, the thought is there. Like, what are we doing?
We get it. Okay, I know what you're trying to say, and there's no kids here, by the way. Just turn it on, turn it off whenever you're with your kids or whatever. And then, I can't. I don't think it's right to use those words or whatever. It's like, well, here's another conversation I don't want to get into because I like you as a person. You know what I mean? And I am a natural swearer. Every single human I've been around my entire life, I feel like natural swearers. I don't know. There is a real judgment, I guess, on people that swear, but every single study that has come out basically says the swearers are normally the more truthful, the more, natural, whatever. I don't know. Neither here nor there. I've been in trouble for my mouth for a long time. Not just because I speak a lot, but because the words that have come out for a long time. You know what I mean? We're dropping fucks early in life. And I know it's embarrassing and some stuff you shouldn't do it. But if you're naturally saying what the fudge to me as an adult, I don't know how to do it.
I respect it. I respect you can do it with a straight face. I really am.
Exactly. Well, I guess that's how I should look at it. Like, congratulations on your commitment to that, I guess. You're making the world better.
I understand if people don't, if not cussing, whatever, like it's not a huge part of my life, but I don't abbreviate things for it. I just speak. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation.
I've had somebody say "fudge you" to me, and
Really?
I laughed. Yeah. That wasn't a real conversation.
Can you tell me who that was?
No, can't. But it did happen. Yeah.
Were you in third grade?
No, this was an adult, and the person was not like happy. They used it as like
actually mad.
They were really mad.
They didn't really say it. It was the group that I was in. You know what I mean? Yeah, they were not.
Well.
Fudge you guys, man. All right. I had to turn. I had to turn and leave. I was ruined the whole moment. There's a whole conversation going on. It's like, all right, I can't.
It'd be a great way to like de-escalate a situation if you're about to have some violence and someone yelled that at you. Like, wait, what?
It was an agreement on if we were going to do something or not, and there was a split party. Okay, there was a split party. We were forced to be together, and then there was a split decision.
When was this?
It was at like a thing we had to go. It was at a thing. It was a thing.
Was this a friend of yours?
No. The person was not. I was with a friend at a thing. It was like a convention thing, and they put these people together. It was like a breakout room thing. It was awesome. Fudge you guys, man. All right, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I did not make it to day 3 of the convention, but things are happening. Things are good happening. Dan says that, and we have to take him serious because he does have a football brain. He does have access to everything. So you always have to wonder, like, his film breakdowns, is he doing this because he saw it? Let's assume yes. But also, he's got a lot of people giving him great information, so there has to be a reason. We know that we cannot judge any of these draft classes right now because in 5 to 10 years, it might be vastly different. Some of these guys that we think are locks might be terrible. Kenny Pickett might be a fucking guy. I saw him in Kennywood this past weekend. Oh, yeah. He looks the part. He was walking across the bridges of Pittsburgh. They're taking photos of his hair flowing and his hat, and it was windy. He looks the part, AJ. He could go and be a fucking guy. Tomlin said they could compete, or he could be a complete bust. We have no idea, AJ. No idea.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is with everybody. And quarterbacks, I guess, some people may think are the easiest to be able to tell, hey, if this guy is a dude or not, like if he turns out. But I feel like most people weren't they giving the Packers some like credit, saying, hey, we felt like it was a solid draft because they couldn't get the value they wanted. They had to give up too much to get up in the front of that first round.
I think it's strictly because Aaron came on the show during draft night and was like, I'm not that upset about it. So if you're upset about it, what are you upset? You're upset for me? Are you upset for me? I'm not. He seemed pretty relaxed about everything almost.
Also, they did get very aggressive on the second day. They traded up big time. They had, the second or the third pick in the second round, and they got the guy who, leading up to it, a lot of people said, like, hey, this is who the Packers really want. Yeah, they were going to have to give up way too much to go get those receivers on the first day. They added 2 guys who are going to help them out right away on defense, and then they got probably the guy they wanted the most at receiver early on the second day. Rodgers, obviously texted him right away. And, I didn't see that many people who were upset about it. It wasn't as flashy as maybe some people thought it was going to be, but I assume that they're probably still going to do a little bit more work on wide receiver going into the season. And I think if you're a Packers fan, you should be happy with what they did.
Jets and Giants fans are pumped. Jets and Giants fans absolutely pumped. They had 2 and 3 first-round draft picks overall. A lot of pillars can be built over there, AJ. A lot of pillars can be built around good guys or young guys that end up being, your hardest workers and your most successful guys. We saw it here at the Colts. Quentin Nelson, Darius Leonard, drafted in the same draft class. They have become the pillars of that team. team kind of set the tone for that team, and they've been set up. Now, granted, didn't make the playoffs last year. But you get it. That could be a big. Those are altering. You get three, like 5 guys there in the 2 New York teams in the first round. That's huge news.
Well, if they come in and they can contribute right away, and they're making plays, you're right. Like, you can change the culture of that place pretty quick when you have some fresh blood come in there, and these dudes are eager, they're excited, and you taste some victory. Like, I think that can trickle down to the rest of the team. Even some vets that maybe haven't been used to winning in the last couple of years, they could figure it out.
And Shane and Joe Douglas, by the way, are telling all those guys that we're building this team around you. That's why we drafted you in the first round. So that empowerment going into the locker room, even though they're young, even though they're the new ones, they're being told by the GMs and by the coaches, like, hey, we are investing in you to become the next for this team. So that type of confidence that you can go in there as a young person, reestablish an entire culture, I think it could happen. I honestly believe it could happen, but will it? History says no, but
possible.
It is certainly it is certainly possible. Now, other news stories coming out of the NFL, not just the draft. Tyron Matthew signing with the New Orleans Saints back in Louisiana. Congrats to Brian Kelly. You know, getting LSU legend back into the same state. Probably going to use the hell out of him and for recruiting, especially with how much he loves LSU with everything that he learned and went through down there. The Saints are making a key post-draft addition, reports Ian Rappaport, as they're expected to sign all-pro safety, the landlord, Tyron Matthew. A long-awaited signing that should be finalized in the coming days. The Honey Badger lands in the perfect spot, says Ian Rappaport. He's getting that information from somebody inside the operation that says it's a perfect spot. If you do recall, Tyron Matthew went and visited the Saints facility, did a whole walk around and left. His quote was, I don't think they need me on that team, but I obviously enjoyed it and that whole thing. So we talked like, oh, they don't need Tyron Matthew on their squad. It's because they had signed a safety or had a couple on the team. If they're bringing him in, it's not to be a backup, right, AJ? Tyron Matthew's not going to the Saints to be a backup. The Saints had $70 million over the cap like 1 week before the salary cap needed to be down. Then they got all these moves in and ended up $30 million under the cap, able to sign a quarterback, get Michael Thomas back. Now they're signing one of the notable free agents. Mickey Loomis and them down there, what they do, AJ, is very fucking impressive.
It is, but I think I saw a stat during the draft. Their offense averaged like 187 yards a game, I believe, the lowest in the NFL. So that's not a thing we're used to seeing when it comes to the Saints. I understand Drew Brees retired, but they're going to have to figure that out, too.
Is Tyron Matthew playing quarterback? We'll find out. We'll keep our ear to the ground.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That'll be fun, though, man. The fans love him, and I hope he goes down there and makes plays right away and just starts knocking dudes' heads off and getting pick sixes. Like, that place will explode. Like, he is an absolute fan favorite of everybody in the league, I feel like, but especially going back home, it's going to be special.
Hey, that Superdome can be a buzzsaw, too. You get going, you make a play, that place gets loud.
Terrible place to play. I mean, awesome environment. Very, very difficult place to win when they're rolling, and their fans are crazy.
There's actual witch doctors in the crowd. Yeah. All right, I don't know what we're supposed to fucking do, dude.
Well, they got the whistle guy.
The whistle guy. I'm not gonna say it because I don't know personally.
But
there's a lot of other great fans down there. So I assume they do not like Whistle Guy because Whistle Guy gets a lot of the hype. You know, and there's a lot of other New Orleans Saints fans that are like, excuse me, this place is really fucking loud, not just because of goddamn whistle. Okay, we got witches and witch doctors and voodoo things right here, and there's a drunk Cajun man up at the top that's yelling louder than anybody's ever heard. There's a lot of whistling with the tongue flip thing down here.
Yep.
They fucking go bananas in that place. First play of the game, Curtis Painter strip sack. After a touchback, ball on the 20 at the time, not the 25.
Yikes.
Strip sack, they scored a touchdown right there. Next play, obviously, they kick off. We throw a pick six.
Jesus.
I believe 14-0 right there, and that place did not stop the rest of the evening. We lost 60-something to like 20 or maybe 19 or something, and they were loud the entire fucking time. It was a primetime game. What a buzzsaw that place can become. So if on offense you can get rolling, you can get going. Last year, what that? Taysom Hill playing quarterback a little bit?
I think they had like negative 18 yards when Ian Book, the game started there.
Against the Dolphins.
You seem to have a little bit of beef against the Notre Dame quarterback.
Yeah, totally.
Well, no. I was just that was
he didn't
actually,
have much of a chance.
No, he did not. I think he got sacked like 11 times. But you bring Michael Thomas back, you get Olave. I think they were 5-2 right when Jameis was the starter. They didn't get worse on defense or whatever, and now their number 1 wideout from last year becomes the number 3 or whatever, 3 or 4. Like, it's a much better situation.
Yep, and new offense, right?
New head coach. Who's the coordinator?
The DC,
Same
Dennis
coaching
Allen,
staff,
right?
Yeah. But yeah,
Dennis Allen's, but he's defense.
Sean Payton will have to.
No, what's the head coach? What's the head coach?
Dennis Allen.
Yeah. So obviously I knew that.
Who's calling the offensive plays now?
Good question.
TBD.
What if it's Drew Brees? Are they trading him to Fox?
That was the rumor.
Rumors.
Yeah, he's up for that gig, right?
There's a alleged rumor that Drew Brees was going to get traded from NBC to Fox. Would that be the number one? To be the number one? You think?
With Burkhardt, then, right?
Is that what that would be for?
To do the games. Yeah, I'm sure that's. What other position would it be?
Oh, now we're talking football and Fox. Urban Meyer's going back to Fox.
Oh, yeah.
He is. Sean Payton apparently is going to Fox.
In studio.
Studio. So he's going to be a part of Jay Glazer's family. Tony Gonzalez out probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is he out?
He's going to Amazon, right? Or is he full-time Amazon or just doing it? I don't know. He made an announcement he's with Amazon.
Oh, then yeah, maybe, yeah. Peyton slides right in.
So then, yeah, Sean Payton gets his suit, goes over there, watches the games. Good for them. That show will continue to be great. And then,
Greg Olson?
yeah, what happens with Greg? Because he did that whole, it was for a Bud Light.
He'll
Was that for a Bud
still
Light?
have a crew.
Yeah, but he should be. Don't we think he should?
For sure. I
Well,
mean,
what
he-
about Gus? How come we didn't move
I was
Gus?
going to say him and
He's not
Gus
doing
together.
NFL this year.
Who is
What?
it?
Gus.
Why?
Yeah, what did he say?
He's going back to school, so he doesn't have time to call the NFL. He's just going to do college.
No, gosh.
No.
Gus is getting a doctorate?
That school he's going to is pretty involved. It's pretty serious too. Like what he's doing.
Harvard?
The school is fucking
It is like,
lucky
is it
that
Wharton or
Gus
it's one of
is
them where he had
going.
to he's doing a lot.
Well, what's
What's he
I
doing? He's
mean,
teaching
he's
a
going
class?
to-
Who the
Wharton?
fuck is teaching Gus
He's
Johnson?
doing
He's-
the Harvard Advanced Leadership Initiative project. He's working for Harvard.
Wow. He's pissed because they put him on Lions games last year, the whole season.
Yeah, waste.
Gus
of
ain't got
talent.
time for terrible NFL
That
games.
agree.
makes sense.
They still have Stink and Amin. They're
They
a
do.
good box.
Stinks.
Shout out Stink.
Shout out Stink.
They got a good tweet.
Stink gave me a shot. Stink, I do not, agree with everything you said there. And I think there has been great picks before me, Reggie, Drew, everybody. You know, there's a bunch of people that have made picks entertaining, but there was a couple up there that was like, hey,
Wrap it up.
get to the pick.
Not the Colts, though.
Hey, there's people that were thinking that about me, too, by the way, when I was speaking. So, no.
Was there a lot of people that did that? The only thing I saw was the one dude who had to get basically
Donnie
they had to
Osmond?
take him off the stage.
Bro, that guy got the hook, man. The lady literally comes out, read the fucking thing. Who sent, was that her decision? She goes out there and says, I'm going.
That was Rod.
She did not want to go. They had to send her out, I bet.
Walked out the incredibly long stage all the way out there and tell him, hey, sir, we don't care.
Say
Hurry the
fucking
fuck
name.
up.
What
Yeah.
if Raj came out and slapped him in the face?
Rich Eyes, what if Raj would have
That
came
would've
out?
been-
Hey, did they give you a fucking card or no? What was all on there? Oh, right here. Read this. Boom. It even says they are selecting. Look at that. That's it right there. That's all we fucking need. Thank you. And then walks back. That would have been a great bit. That probably would have been
Oh, yeah.
the most watched clip from the entire draft. Maybe he was waiting for that. Maybe that's what this.
Yeah.
There we go.
This dude was playing. He was playing next
Playing
game.
chess.
Yeah.
And Raj
Right.
didn't have the stomach for it.
Roger's like, I can't do that. This guy, NFL legend. You got to do that entire thing. Brant killed it. The Blue Man Group is tough. You know, I used to be a Blue Man Group fan, I think, because they used to be drummers, right?
Oh, yeah.
They used to be, I don't know what the fuck they're doing
They
now.
still are, aren't they?
I don't know. I didn't see him drumming at all.
I feel
saw
like they
him-
do awkward stuff.
Yeah, now they're just an uncomfortable act of comedy.
Yeah.
it
Shooting
appears.
construction paper into the air.
I thought there had to be a payoff. So they joined the NFL Network's Rich Eyes and Schrags got up. Daniel Jeremiah got up.
Charles.
And Charles Davis. They all got up, and just the Blue Man Group joined Rich Eisen. Rich had become a bit bitter at this point to all the all the shenanigans. A little bit bitter. It seemed like his tone at this point was a bit bitter with everything. And the Blue Man Group, I don't blame him at all. They didn't say anything. They can't speak. They don't speak. They didn't have like any visual words or anything. So he was literally just sitting there in front of an awkward three dudes painted blue, basically.
Yeah.
And then they got this air blower thing open, and it was supposed to shoot like air streamer, like paper streamers.
Yeah.
Like confetti?
And at first, no, like paper streamer, like
that you decorate
Like you
with.
hang for a birthday
Yeah.
party.
already
okay,
won.
okay.
But it was stuck, so they had to. So they struggled with that. So that was that was like a botch, a little bit of a botch. So they go there, they shoot the whole thing, And then there's no end. Like I thought it was all going to lead to
it's
something. It was just no. That just
did
happened.
not.
They started fucking with the cameras and
Yeah, they touched the camera, turned the camera, and then
I'm glad I didn't see this.
Then they
by
went
the
to
way.
break. Then they went to break. There was no payoff. There was no.
But how tough is that? Like they don't speak, so it's already a difficult situation for everyone involved.
Bro, you would think whenever they shot that thing out there, it was going to be like some sort of message, maybe
Right.
that was going to come, or they were going to paint something. There was not.
Oh, I guess it's like, hey, we're adding a little bit of Vegas into the draft. It's how they do it.
Exact. Osmond was there.
Yep.
Obviously, Wayne.
Wayne Newton.
He pronounced something wrong. Wayne did something wrong.
Yep.
Angel, obviously.
Chris
he's-
Angel was spinning at the speed of fucking sound.
Yeah.
Dude, I was getting sick
Yeah.
watching him spin.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he did it though.
He did.
How do you not puke?
good question.
He's in
He's
his
a maniac.
football pants.
He's
Colts
Chris
had-
Angel. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's used to it.
I guess, dude. That was uncomfortably fast. And I don't think they told the hosts what the act was. So the one I was watching, and Chris Angel is spinning right now. And he got the jacket off. All right. How about Roger Goodell? Roger Goodell, what day was it? It might have been the Blue Man Group. Might have been the Blue Man Group, day 2 or day 3. I forget. Roger Goodell walks out onto the stage and actually points like this. And then goes, all right. And then turns to the thing. And they start booing. He goes, you can get louder or whatever. Just completely, whatever the performance was, they had like a little act always kicking off. Literally point and go, what the fuck was that? There's no way that's what we thought this was going to be. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. I do enjoy them livening up a little bit because it does get very, very boring.
Yeah.
But I think when they're doing that, they have to keep it easily legible on the screen on who's going where and what's happening. Because they'll have interviews with like Tomlin and Carroll, but on the screen, they have whoever's current pick it is, and then they have a ticker going with previous picks that aren't who Tomlin and Carroll picked, though. So they're doing an interview with Tomlin, and I might not have caught the beginning or know exactly who they all drafted. So he's given this long answer about somebody that I don't even know who they got drafted. On the screen, it's the Browns are selecting blah, blah, blah. And then on the ticker, it's like some information from like 2 hours ago. I think I enjoy them trying to bring a little spice, AJ, but I think they have to keep it, at least watchable. You know what I mean? I think they have to keep it watchable out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. They should be trying new things to make. You never know what's going to hit. Some things will hit eventually. I was just wondering, like, if that old orangutan was going to come back. That was at the draft that you were at.
You're talking about Rocky?
I mean, there's a lot of great zoos out in Vegas, right? They could have brought some animals in.
Well, I think a lot of people are just zoos out there, right? Isn't that kind of the thing?
What do you mean?
Oh, it's private ownership.
Oh. Are Siegfried and Roy still around? Did they come out?
Well,
I think Tiger
think
Ape's the
so.
one.
Are they both passed or just one?
I believe just one died.
Oh, okay.
and that one died from the tiger.
Yeah,
right?
he got
Oh,
mauled
sweet.
pretty good.
Yeah, ripped up.
He lived for a while after it, though.
Yeah,
he survived the tiger attack?
Oh yeah, but
Oh,
he's
yeah.
drinking out of eating his meals through a straw for the rest of his life, and then
That's what they say, dangerous game playing
Yeah,
with
it's
those big
dangerous
cats.
yeah,
Joe Exotic was able to survive it.
It was.
Well,
How'd that happen? When did people just start buying these massive animals and doing that whole thing? I'd be scared to death. My one cat, Teddy, he gets upset, I get scared. I'm like, all right, that thing can fucking bounce. It's 300 pounds. That thing can jump off that wall right there on my head before I even know it. These tigers and shit, the more documentaries you watch, why would you fucking ever want to be around?
I have no idea.
How do they, and it's just a natural thing. I feel like we all learned that through the Tiger King situation.
oh yeah.
Well, and I mean, you can tell too with Joe Exotic, especially like those. Everything's good when they're giving them treats and feeding them meat. If those things ever get pissed off, just like slightly pissed off, they'll fucking grab one of your legs and drag you.
Dad!
Yeah, exactly. You're done.
Who knows the sedatives they're pumping through those things, too, at times.
In the meat, you mean?
In the animals. I'm saying, like, if they want them to be docile and go in there in the cage and do little shows, I'm sure they give them some stuff at times.
Oh, I didn't even
I'm sure
think
it's not
about that.
legal. I'm sure that all of it is
Like
illegal,
happy
but yeah.
drugs.
Yeah, they're definitely doing that.
Couple Xanax.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, a couple Tiger Zans.
I just want to clarify that both of them have passed away, and not one of them was from the tiger attack.
Okay, I did thought they both.
What
Let's have a
kind
moment of silence for Siegfried, please. Now one for Roy. Let's actually do this one instead of a laugh from Ohio, please. And How about that Tiger not killing anybody? Huh?
Thank you, Tiger.
Thank you, Roy.
Is the Tiger still alive?
Tiger said, I'm not killing nobody. Just fucking with him a little bit, though. You see what they do, man? He disappear all of his time.
I thought they beheaded that thing after he attacked Siegfried.
Really?
Well, I've learned from this, you just can't be in a group because you'll die. Siegfried and Roy are dead. Cisco and Eva are dead. You just can't be in a group. You can't be in a pair of people.
Well, it seems like every group's going to die.
Dude Perfect might be worried.
Well,
Hey, hate to break it to Dude Perfect and all of us that are listening right now. Everybody's dying.
Fuck.
I thought we weren't going to have to do this again.
Oh, yeah, I did. I thought so too. Remember that? That was a little day or two. I thought that. Everybody's dying though. That's the crazy thing. Everybody's dead, dude. Everybody.
Do a moment
Dead.
of silence for everybody.
Can I bring good news?
I don't know if we have enough time.
They were 81 and 75. They had a good life.
Well, I'm just,
They could have had a better life.
I guess, but literally, no matter what, gonna be dead.
Can I bring some sunshine to this rain?
I don't think that's necessarily rain, but it is something we need to think about.
Yeah, every day.
Not every
morning.
day. Not every day.
Every day in the morning.
Don't
every
need to do
picture,
that.
Someone you
No.
love getting shot in the face. It will bring perspective to your life. I'm just saying.
What are you talking about, Connor?
Okay.
OAJ.
Who is that from?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, when we were talking about swearing earlier, I was going to say if Gary Vee stops swearing, then I'll stop swearing. But he is the one that told me if you think about one of your loved ones getting shot in the face for 5 minutes every morning when you're in the shower, you're going to attack your fucking day better.
Listen,
and so I do.
It has affected you. You know how long you've been saying this? Hey, great job, Gary.
Yeah, thank you, Gary.
For helping Connor. Now,
Changed
with that
my
being
life.
said, I do not recommend that because that's quite negative. You know, I'm
Yeah.
more of a, hey, let's go have a good time type thing. But I do believe the conversation of death should be one that is had because it's coming for fucking every group, coming for every band, it's coming for everybody. We just got to hope to live well until that day comes. What are you going to say? Tell me a little sunshine?
Breaking news, sunshine. It is another person's birthday today. Fucking KY Kyle Busch, and he just took the lead at Dover, the Monster Mile.
Wow. Not a bad Kyle.
Happy birthday, Kyle. Happy birthday,
Is the race
KY.
happening right now?
Well, see,
Yeah, it rained out yesterday.
I view KY just not as a celebrity. So whenever we're talking about other birthdays,
Sure.
KY is a racing goat.
Yeah.
The guy's never lost on his birthday. Okay?
Wow.
I came into the world on fucking May 2nd. You think you're going to outrace me at goddamn Dover?
Not a chance.
No way.
Never.
Is KY running?
Are there people there?
Yep.
KY's winning.
Probably not as much as it would
No,
have
it's a
been on the weekend.
USFL game, dude. It's fucking Monday at 1 o'clock. Come on. What do you think
tough.
this is? Hey, congrats and happy birthday, KY.
Happy birthday, KY. I thought
KY.
Tony was going to bring up the other big news out of Pittsburgh this morning that we saw before we went on.
Yeah, breaking news. The Pittsburgh Maulers have suffered the largest shutout in the history of USFL. Let's go to a break.
What was the score?
27-zip.
It's not too bad.
Too much fucking chicken salad in that team. Okay? They all come chicken shit. This guy's cutting promos afterwards about, having to do the right thing and being disciplined. Let the guys have a fucking pizza. Okay?
I ain't never played a game in the 4-1-2. That team does not represent the city.
More sunshine out of Pittsburgh, though.
What's that?
Jason Kendall, 47 years old, might be coming back to baseball.
What?
That is Jason Kendall, my favorite baseball player of all time. You've heard me speak of him. He's in my Mount Rushmore of baseball players.
Yep.
Because as a child, when I would go down to PNC Park and sit in the bleachers for $4 or $5 and get a hot dog alongside of it, Jason Kendall would go into the batter's box with no fucking gloves and hit a bomb.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what he would do.
That's right.
And then he'd sit right behind home plate and he would have authority over that entire park. Not just that diamond.
No.
Per sources via Jason Mackey. Jason Mackey. Is he an Irish guy? I don't know. It's not spelled like an Irish name at all. It's kind of an interesting take on it all.
Sure.
McKee, maybe.
Nah, I don't think.
He was capitalized and moved over a little bit.
Yeah, it seems different. Anyways, Jason Mackey of the Post-Gazette is reporting Pirates and Jason Kendall have discussed a possible return. Kendall was in Greensboro late last month to meet with people, including Director of Coaching and Player Development John Bacher. Nothing final, still just talking about finding a fit, but an intriguing name. This is what he was doing down in Greensboro.
Yep.
He saw a construction site. And before the construction site, they had this sign that said the speed limit and the speed the people were going. It got real dark one night, and Jason Kendall, got down in his stance, catcher stance, and he had his son throw a ball to him, and then he threw it as if he was throwing it to second base.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Went right past that sign. That thing said fucking 86 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
Jason Kendall's pop time is just as fast.
Wow.
And that ball is humming. And now that they got these balls that nobody else likes, that's exactly what Jason Kendall likes. The things that other people hate, this man enjoys. That dude hasn't missed a protein meal in 47 fucking years. Jason Kendall coming back to be catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Hell yeah.
At the age of 47 is a dream come true. Welcome back to the baseball era. Baseball.
Welcome home, Jason. But wait, does that tweet mention him coming back as a player, or is he trying to be?
It's
a
implied.
It's open-ended,
It's implied.
which means player.
Jackie
When was
Moon.
his last major league appearance?
2010.
10 years, 12 years.
12 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and he hasn't lost a step.
They heard him hitting in the cage, and they said, God damn, he still got it. Bring him in.
And I told you about the construction
Yeah.
speed limit.
2010. Are you serious?
12 years, dude. He's only getting better.
48 years old, dude.
He's been in the lab for 12 years.
Bro,
Good luck, Jace.
Jason Kendall's been walking around the house the last 12 years. I still got it. I still fucking got it. I still got it. Now he's going to get a chance to prove it on team. It stinks. Bob Nutting's going to have to open a checkbook, though, to get fucking Jason Kendall back.
Yeah, true.
Jason Kendall's going to have to get paid. He's going to be Jackie Moon. That dude better be coaching them boys. He better be playing alongside them boys. And he better be doing the fucking entertainment, too. Zambelli fireworks every night if Jason Kendall's there.
I also heard a rumor, and this is also good for the franchise, that Colbert is retiring from NFL GM, but he may actually go to the Pirates GM to try to fix the franchise over there.
Here we
too.
go. That's why Jason Kendall's coming back.
Wow.
That's
his
Colbert's
first
first signing.
Yeah. His first move.
Fucking give me Jason Kendall.
10 years, $200 million.
All right, let's get to a break. Honestly, he might be coaching, but that'd be a bummer.
No, he's playing. He's playing until notified otherwise.
What, are they just going to put him at first base? He's still Golden Glove.
Well,
And he could behind the plate. He's
Behind the
still
plate,
fucking-
you can DH now in the National League. He's still good for probably 25 homers,
Put that photo of him back up,
75
please.
ribbies.
That's a current photo, right?
Yeah.
Gone.
See any gloves in that picture? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
think
He's
about it.
swinging
Never
a
heard of
telephone pole. You hear me?
Right on the sweet spot.
Swings a 35-32, the biggest you can fucking have.
Gone.
God damn.
Fuck it.
Gloves is awesome.
I think we can have Jason Kendall on the show from what I've been told.
What?
Oh,
Please.
I don't know. He's in the lab, right?
now is the time to reach out to Jason Kendall.
Yeah.
Look at how he holds that bat, dude.
Yeah, he chokes up a lot.
He holds that thing like this.
Fucking chaw the
Probably
size of
0-2
Kansas.
count, AJ. Jesus.
Bro, he's throwing
He's
his
a
hand.
stud, man.
He's trying to punch the ball.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch him play again after taking a decade and a half off of baseball.
12 years, okay?
Still see the seams, pal.
Yeah.
We're back. About 4 minutes with some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line. Man, baseball's back.
Let's go.
Congrats
yeah.
to Jason Kendall coming back.
Congrats to baseball for Jason Kendall coming
Congrats
back.
to us. We get to watch him play again.
Hell yeah.
Amen.
What if he's not playing? That'd be a real bummer.
He's
Dude,
playing.
real bummer.
He's playing.
You're real bummer.
He's playing.
He better be fucking signaling that at least out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There
Third base coach?
There better be some sort of Jason Kendall performance at PNC Park.
There will be.
He is playing.
He might be doing the fire. What if he's just in charge of post-game celebration?
As long as he's sitting on top of the goddamn big board in center field, that'd be cool.
What if he is fucking the parrot? What if Jason Kendall's the new mascot?
I was just gonna say,
Now
could
we're
he
talking.
be the pirate?
He's going to be Sauerkraut Saul full time.
No. Whoa. Please, those are two legends in their own lane.
yeah.
They do not need to be interacting. All right, congrats to Jason Kendall. We're back in 4 minutes with some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line. We hope you're having an incredible day. We appreciate you. Bye. Hey, listen.
It's the whitest night.
He's sucking Bud Lights. What? Arms up, kick. What? Bud Light. What? Word. Bud Light. Word. Are you chugging that whole thing or what? No. Come on.
You won. Not the whole thing. You won. You won. You won.
Hell of a machine.
310J, dude.
Oh, top of the line.
That's when they were singing about being sexy.
That's right.
The 310J, when somebody saw it, they're like, that's sexy, and he was like, the country music, you're right, it is. She thinks my tractor's sexy. Oh, look at that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey, that's got a good cockpit in there. Yeah. Kind of looks like the Pope Mobile with all the glass around the top there, but it ain't no Pope Mobile because this one's fucking breaking grind. Hell yeah.
Party in the front, business in the back, am I right?
Well, I do believe we got business
on both ends.
Yeah.
That's
right. Yeah, the plow down there in the front is, although a good time. It is a good time to get that thing going.
Fun.
Business is being handled, dude.
Everyone's getting plowed.
And then on the backside, whenever you start cracking earth.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
need the excavator back there, the big dog.
And you know the thing about the seat on this 310J, it turns.
Yeah.
So it's always in the front. Whatever you're working on, business can be on the front, both sides.
That's right.
Controls all around.
We worried about those front tires?
No, not at all.
That's how they roll.
No, they survive anything.
Those are standard Deere backhoe tires.
Look at the back
Someone like you
tires,
might be worried
Foxy.
about
Yeah, exactly. Foxy.
I'm just asking questions.
Foxy, it ain't about the front wheels. It's always about the back.
That's right.
All right, because these rear wheel powered vehicles that you would never understand.
Yeah, you don't know anything about that, Foxy.
You have no idea.
I would not know.
Wake up.
I got friends that know. I don't know.
Listen, when you're drifting gears, okay, on a rear wheel, especially for 600 some ponies, you got to watch for like any, plot holes or debris.
Of course.
Because you can and then hit a tree. Because the back end kicks out. And then you won't drive that car ever again. Because how are you not supposed to drift it? And I guess, how are you not supposed to hit another tree?
Yeah, right.
That's my life. Doesn't have to be yours, though. Thank you, Andrew, for calling from the 310J. That's a beautiful piece of machinery.
It is.
Gorgeous.
Take that thing another round. Oh, look at that thing prop itself up.
Lift kit.
That's why the wheels don't matter in the front, pal.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Today's show is presented by Cash App. Cash App is the best finance app on the entire planet. It's the easiest way to send money to your buddies, and you can even buy pieces of Bitcoin or stocks on there with as little as $1. Wow. $1. AJ?
Yes.
So I invest my stock, the way I buy stocks, not a lot. I don't do the stock game a lot. I'd rather bet on experiences in myself and see where my money goes as opposed to putting it in some fairy tale town that I'd never met anybody from that world of. But once I started dabbling a little bit in the stocks, whenever the entire world became stockbrokers, you remember that happened?
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
I said, hey, listen, I'm just going to dabble a little bit of money in the stocks on the people that I think are aliens. Okay, who do I think are aliens? So I obviously, WWE, because Vince McMahon is an alien.
Right.
Sure. It has gone up.
Yeah.
Then I said, well, Elon Musk, our alien, I'm going to bet on him. Tesla, it's gone down.
Well,
For now.
Tesla's gone down. He's buying Twitter. Everybody's seeing Tesla.
Yeah.
You don't want to go back up.
I think
It will.
they-
It will.
See that money that I put into that, I didn't get to experience. It's gone. I could have had maybe another bottoms-up beer with somebody.
Yeah.
That's now, granted, that is not good long-term financial planning, and this is not financial advice, but I'm just saying, that's how I go about doing stuff. You can buy stocks and Bitcoin on Cash App, though. That's
great to know.
And if you're not on there yet, just go ahead and download the app and use code McAfee to get $15 as soon as you sign up. That's code MCAFEE for a free $15. Terms to apply. And remember, on Wednesday, we'll announce all the winners from the week before's contest, including all of the draft spectacular contests. The M&Ms will be counted by Bill during the recording of the episode of the pod tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So the announcement will come on Wednesday on who the winner and how many they were, and also all the other winners. We appreciate you so much. Tone Diggs.
Tesla is up 25% this year, and you've been in that market for a long time.
You're right. So
yeah.
I guess week to week. I don't live by week to week. Not in the stock, because that's chess, by the way. That's not checkers.
That's right.
Can't live in the day to day, AJ. You got to live in the year to year. You got to zoom out and really predict the future. Well, aliens are going to win, is what I say.
Of course.
Humans are too.
I think you could get Elon to come on this show.
You think?
I think yeah. Just put it out there. Put the feelers out there. I think you can get him.
All right. Hey, you all, man, you want to come on the show, dude? Come on.
He might.
Here we go.
Go down to his new factory just built in Austin, too. That thing is gigantic.
Hey, Austin is like becoming the space hub of America, right? Which is pretty cool because if the aliens come down, like, oh, maybe this is all big plan. All right, like you get down there to Austin, the aliens meet Joe Rogan. They're like, all right, this is a pretty powerful person around here. Go ahead and meet Joe Rogan. Then here's live music. You go right Maybe that's why it's like almost like the greeting area for the aliens that come down, obviously transform into humans, go out in Austin, do the Rogan thing, and then they go back to their planet or whatever.
Maybe
Pretty
go
cool.
see a Texas football game same weekend.
Oh yeah, go ahead and see them Longhorns throw them horns up everywhere around there, and then also go to that bat bridge. I think there's a bridge that has like thousands of bats that live underneath it, right next to the city.
Jesus.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I went, and then South by Southwest is there. Come listen to some of the best speakers of all time.
Yeah.
That's why. Is that why Austin's everywhere now? Is that what you think?
South by Southwest is musical acts, right?
No, they don't. No, I spoke at a South by Southwest. No big deal.
Like a TED type thing?
Yeah, I was on the dais.
Wow.
I was on the dais.
Did you do stand up there? Don't they have a bunch of stand up there as well?
No. I am not talented enough stand up to be doing stand up. You hear me? And there are some other stand ups that need to. Let's move on. Let's move on. But no, Deion Sanders was supposed to be in a spot. It was about the NFL and it's the way social media has changed the NFL. It was the head of the NFL Network, head of the NFL Digital. Deion Sanders was supposed to be there, and then somebody else, I forget, from maybe ESPN or something, some exec. And then 2 days before, Deion couldn't make it. And I assume they asked like 15 other people. And then they asked me if I would come down and speak. I go down there, didn't even have a name tag. Had Deion Sanders right in front of me. I was like, well, these people are going to be very pissed whenever they come in here. I felt like I'd done good in there, though. I feel like I held my own in there. Pretty good little speaker. But yeah, you can go listen to a bunch of people talk down there. Why? Austin is just a cool city. That's why everybody wanted to go there?
I think so.
Is that what? Because this has all happened relatively recent, right?
Yeah.
McConaughey also down there running.
And they got
the city.
They got an MLS team there. They're gonna get an NFL team before too long.
They should.
Austin's gonna get an NFL team, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, you know what? It is probably adding up to that. But I mean, I guess they gave a ton of incentives for companies to come in there, like Tesla and whatever, to build these giant factories. You get a bunch of tax breaks. You come in, boost the economy. I guess it's just a matter of time. I'm sure people in Austin assume it's just a matter of time before everyone ruins it when they come in and it makes it too commercial and all that.
Well, yeah. I would assume there are people in Texas that aren't exactly thrilled that they are going to become the alien capital, but that's a great free state of Texas. That's live. Hey, that's a great free state of Texas. Let's go to the 5-hour energy phone lines. Let's go to Logan down there in Texas. Logan, what's going on down there?
What's going on, boys?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, I just want to go back to Saints talk from earlier. I'm a big Saints fan.
Okay.
And I also want to stay the hell out of Austin. But we've got Jameis coming back. Simeon's way the hell out the door with his sorry ass. And we've got Penn and Gardner taking over for Teron Armstead. We're going to the damn Super Bowl, and nobody can tell me any differently.
Wow. Okay. Way to go, Logan. Happy for you, pal. All right.
There
so
you
that
go.
guy believes in Jameis Winston.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah, that guy believes in Jameis Winston right there.
Yep.
What they've been able to do with the salary cap has been insane.
Yeah, Kamara is unbelievable. If Michael Thomas is even half as good as he was when he broke the record for receptions, they're with Olave and Taysom Hill, their offense.
Breeze couldn't throw either.
Is this going to be a John Gruden, Tony Dungy situation?
Build the team and then win.
Yeah, you leave
offense, defense.
You leave the team and then they win a Super Bowl like the next year almost.
Maybe.
That happened with Gruden down with the Bucks, right?
I think so.
Yeah, kind of that.
Dungy built it.
And then he comes in and wins the Super Bowl or whatever. Is that what's going to take place here? Sean Payton, if they win a Super Bowl, will people judge Sean Payton?
Maybe.
And then will that have Sean Payton get the urge to get his suit off of me? I need to
Drew
go.
Brees too, though. Would it make Drew Brees take the suit off and come back because, hey, Drew, you won your Super Bowl, but look at this. You and Sean are gone, and bam, we have another one.
Immediate success about the next chapter of the other one. Maybe that'll drive a little competitive fire for Drew Brees to go ahead and push that sled around the goddamn parking lot a little bit further and get out of that suit and live his bet life on the field. Great actor, incredible pundit.
Yeah.
I enjoy him so much. But it has been an interesting post-Drew Brees era down there in New Orleans. Logan in Texas, a diehard Saints fan, seem to be very comfortable.
Sean Payton especially, doesn't it seem like I just can't see him doing something other than coaching in the next couple years. Like it seems like he'll be like kind of an Arians type deal where he does it for 1 year and just realizes, like, okay, I don't want to do this.
I don't know how accurate that comedic documentary about him was or not.
Sure.
Probably.
But I mean, his kids, he didn't even know they existed while he was coaching football.
Right.
Then they kind of got back into good graces when he was forced out of football. Now that he's not in football, will he go all the way back in with the family and do the studio thing? Or will he, just like literally every single other football human we have ever encountered, just like you alluded to BA, but Tom Brady, it just happened to Tom Brady, literally. Do you think he doesn't get that urge? And then is it the Cowboys? If Big Mike doesn't have the year that everybody expects the Dallas Cowboys to have, regardless of Jerry Jones showing their entire draft board or not, is that where Sean Payton's thinking about going? Because allegedly he was going to be the Dolphins owner and head coach, and it wasn't going to be a big deal. And then that whole thing turned out. Where does he go next? I think we all assume he's getting back into the league.
I would assume so. I think he'll be good on TV. I really do.
Me too.
But yeah, he seems like one of those guys that coaches coach, man. That's what they do. They love it. They live for the 22-hour days trying to figure out what to do, like what defenses are giving you, how I can beat them. But I think I don't know how long, though. Maybe, I don't know, it could be a couple years off until he waits for the right gig. But if that Dallas gig comes open and Sean Payton is offered that gig, I would imagine he takes it. Yeah. What does he get? We'll give you 10 years, $200 million. Like, he'll get a crazy contract, too.
Well, then, you got to think about McAfee over there. Sean McVay's already been offered, allegedly, whatever he's been offered by Amazon. Who knows if that's real or if that's not real or if that was just leverage for him to get a new contract with the Rams. But he's, 35?
Yeah.
Jeez. 36 years old? I mean, there's going to be TV gigs just waiting for him. And TV gigs are only going up and up and up. And Sean is watching that while he's coaching in there. I mean, good for him. Good on him.
Yeah, like Stafford has, 4 years left on his deal after the extension. So is he just, ride that out, turns 40, starts his family, and then goes and works for one of these
What do
networks?
they say? They got a love affair with Stafford and McVay.
Yeah.
They'll love each other. Love the way each other see football. See ball, AJ. Love the way it goes. Let's go to Colin in Chicago. Colin, what's going on?
What's up, boys? Happy birthday, Pat. Just want to build off the Cowboys and why Sean Payton will never be coming to the Cowboys. It's because he needs roster control, and Jerry Jones will be able to do dumb shit like trade Amari Cooper for a 6th-round pick when guys like Hollywood Brown are commanding 1st-round picks.
That's a good point. I mean, that Amari Cooper trade was fascinating. The A.J. Brown and Hollywood Brown and the movement that took place in the middle of the draft, out of nowhere it appeared, even though it had been kind of held tight for the last week or so, was wild. I mean, the draft created some magical moments, and those two teams certainly changed. The draft odds changed for the Eagles and the Titans and for the Cardinals, I believe, and the Ravens after the trade was made. But other than that, no other odds were changed in the sports book after the trade. So no odds books basically after the draft. So none of these dudes are going to change any of the teams that we've seen here. But the trades did do a little bit of movement.
To your point, there was a record number of trades, and you asked this to Brandon Bean earlier, record number of trades in the first 3 rounds and tied for the record number of wide receivers taken in the first 3 rounds.
So the obvious conversation all weekend was, are you going to be in the camp that pays a great wide receiver? Or are you going to be in the camp to hopefully find the next great wide receiver and then you'll trade them away to somebody that is going to be paid somewhere else? It's interesting, man. Give me the proven guy.
Yeah.
Right now. Apple's coming into the fucking salary cap game.
Yeah.
They got all the money.
Your head coach, though, that's easy to say as a head coach. I'm sure there's plenty of head coaches saying that, but the GM and the owner and the guys working the salary cap are like, hey, let's just take a step back and look at this, what it could look like if we do find a guy that maybe not be this super. He's not going to become the superstar we have, but he could be 85% of it.
We can get by, right? We can get by.
And pay him $900,000 a year compared to $25 million.
Let's go to Bryce in Louisiana. What's going on, Bryce?
Hey, happy fucking birthday, Pat.
Thank you,
AJ, boys, how you doing?
Good.
What finals matchup do you want to see happen the most, Pat? Like, what would intrigue you the most and
Zion
have you most dialed into
No,
the matchup?
Ezekiel versus LA Knight.
Thank you, Bryce. I mean, that would be a hell of a battle.
Yeah.
That'd be a good championship battle. I think the Bucks right now are awesome to watch. They're just sunning the Celtics, right? So maybe we do have to look into the Nets a little bit more because the Celtics were able just to lock them down, and then the Bucks came in and said, "Hey, this is big boy basketball. Welcome to the league." Is that what happened to the Celtics?
Definitely the Celtics' worst game, but yeah, I mean, they were getting bullied, and people are like, they only lost by 12 points, but if you actually watch the game, they were getting absolutely obliterated.
So is that bad news for the next 3 games? You guys are getting swept?
No, you need a wake-up call big time. I think everyone was a little too, high on what happened in the first round, and now the boys will come back. I'm not worried. Celtics in 7.
Well, and Steph told Draymond Green after Draymond got ejected right before the half, "I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you." And then he went bananas in the second half, and Golden State gets a big-time win over Memphis.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a buzz. That was an electrifying game.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
That's going to be good to watch. John Morant's in the game. Steph's in the game. Worth a watch, especially with the tag team that is being evolved over there in Golden State with the Poole and Clay. I mean, there is magic on the court right now.
Yeah, all 8 teams that are left. Any finals matchup with any of them will be good.
Chris Paul said, "Yins ain't going out. We got a curfew." I don't care.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Chris Paul instituted curfew.
What time?
Probably 11. What, midnight maybe?
10?
10?
Maybe. It's the playoffs.
Chris Paul said fucking 8 p.m. in bed. See you tomorrow. Shoot around. Jim Irsay joins us on the other side. Hit it. Fucking hit it.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Wow, we were 4 seconds out when we were still talking basketball.
Pretty
And we
good.
got the Jim Irsay on the other side. Feel pretty good about that. Okay, so when Jim joins us on the other side of the break, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Where is he? Do we know?
He's at his house, I believe. He's at his house.
Crushing it.
Obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where he
So
is.
Jim Irsay does. Absolutely crush it. I wonder what it'll look like. I wonder if he'll come from that throne.
Can you
know?
get him to play a guitar?
Oh, man.
Well, as long as it doesn't have that issue with the sound.
Oh,
where
yeah.
If he plays and then we talk, it bounces out. That's always the worst. What is that, Zito? Is that Zoom normally or is that FaceTime? What is that?
It matters what, so if you have headphones like the AirPods, it does that for some reason. Or if you have your phone.
Yeah, because it echoes.
Yes, yeah.
So
bounces back.
whenever people are holding it from the bottom, you always hear me. I say like, "Hey, can you move your hand up a little bit?" Because the sound bounces off the hand, then it goes into the speaker. So it's like it just kind of becomes a thing. But there's some connections it feels like where they're just weaker, where they talk. If we say anything, it's just going to drop off too. And that's technology, I guess. But hopefully, it's not that with Jim Irsay.
Is Zoom dead?
Hope so.
We never really got into the Zoom, to be honest.
Me either, but it became such a thing. Were they able to capitalize? Like, do they sell ads on there? How's it work?
I don't think so.
No clue.
I think businesses probably have to pay for like a
Premium.
business Zoom. Yeah,
like the subscriptions, like you can only have like 50 people in your Zoom, but then if you pay for it, you get more than 100 people. So it's like...
I assume it's good for businesses. You know, it's easy. I've done meetings on those where they can have a bunch of people easily in one area, I guess. So it'll probably live. But FaceTime is such a better quality.
It is. You would think by now, though, we would have, and especially over these last couple of years, like the quality would be better when you're when you're Zooming with 10 different people or they have those meetings. It still is pretty much garbage.
Well, somebody's working on it, and in working on it, they're lacking in every other factor, and that's Apple. Apple's working on the quality and how clear it is, but then just completely quit on everything else about the phone.
Yeah.
So, hey, we'll get to it. We'll get it right.
Okay,
Hey, right, 2022, things are good.
Plenty of time.
I'll have Jimmy from the coach, Jim Irsay on the other side. Can't wait to chat with him and you guys wrapping up this Monday, May 2nd, 2022. See you in about 4. I just saw a picture of you getting out of, I think, a 757 that was from Jim Irsay. What was that, and have you ever been in that plane before?
I thought it was like the team plane to fly all of the Indianapolis Colts. Literally, I mean, it's got the logo on it, Pat, and it was awesome. But look, that's just Jim. Pat, I had a wonderful 14 years there. It's obviously the team that I wanted to play for always. I understood the decision he had to make, and no hard feelings. And for him to send his plane to fly me and my son down here, it was a great gesture. A lot of room for me and Marshall. We were throwing the football. Pretty cool experience. Pretty cool father-son weekend.
By the way, as he's moving from event to event right now, you are the best, dude. Where are you headed right now?
I'm going to the game. I got Lynch. I got Faneca. I got these guys in the background.
Boys, congratulations. Congratulations, boys. All right, Peyton. Oh, hey, there he is. Marshall, I hope you enjoyed that plane, pal. Hey, Peyton, last thing here. You talking to Tom Brady, you becoming friends with him. It was interesting to watch. Oh, yeah, take the photo. Take the photo. All right, we will wrap this up.
Well, I'll tell you, Pat, I don't think anybody can do what Tom has done. Look, I know how hard it was for me to get on the same page with my receivers, learn a new system, learn new coaches. But I had a full off season. I was injured. I was rehabbing. The fact that Tom has done this in a COVID pandemic off season, no time to meet with his receivers. He met with his coaches illegally by breaking into Byron Leftwich's house. So besides that, it's been incredible what he's been able to accomplish, and he deserves all the credit. His leadership is what's put the Bucs in this game today, and I have great respect for him because I know how hard it is, but he deserves all the credit.
Hey, how did you know Red 18 was coming?
Pat, I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you telling that story and just growing the legend. That was about the 18th time I tried it. I was 17 going into that. And, you know, when it doesn't hit, you just keep walking. Nobody ever really tells you about it. So when it hit, I was as surprised as you were. And the reaction from some of the good old folks there in the casino that night was pretty special.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. You made me and those folks in the casino a bunch of money. Congrats on the Hall of Fame nod. Thank you for spending time. Enjoy yourself at the game, Peyton.
Pat, thanks, pal. I appreciate you.
The Sheriff Hall of Famer, Peyton Manning.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show on this glorious Monday, May 2nd, 2022. Hour 3, which should be electrifying, begins right now. Yeah! Can't thank you enough for joining us. To my left, your right is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor, AJ Hawk.
Yeah,
Baby AJ, how you doing on this Monday, pal?
I'm doing great. I cannot wait for Jim Irsay to come on, man. He's always great.
All right, thank you, AJ. You're 100% right. That's a great outlook, especially for this next
Let
hour.
people know what's on the agenda.
Yeah, well, it's very nice of you to do that. It seems to be your thing almost at this point. But the Talks the Tables here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. There's no reason to have that negative look because this hour is about to be amazing, Connor. Don't you be shaking your head out there.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I just can't stand when this fucking guy comes on here and he just wants to ruin everything. I'm sick of it.
What are you talking about, Mr. Irsay, like that?
No, I'm talking about you like that, you scumbag.
Okay, fair enough. I'm glad you're not talking to Mr. Irsay like that. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Irsay, what we're currently trying to do is get him on the line. So, like, as you see me delay, this happens every time. I have to explain, like, yeah, we know the guy's coming on, okay, whoever the guest is. We appreciate you mentioning them again. But also a little bit of faith, that maybe I'll get there. Maybe I have forgotten about you a few times.
It happens.
While you have sat there, so I do apologize, but we appreciate you, honestly. Tone Diggs is here, one half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys. Tone's going to have another episode of T4 later in this hour after a conversation with Jim Irsay to not only talk about the NBA playoffs, but also the NHL playoffs.
Here we go.
Yeah, hockey's happening again.
Yeah.
Tone's going to break it all down.
Love it.
I cannot wait for that. Joining us now. Nope. It was on, then the hang up happened. It'll work out. It's just technology. AJ, whenever you think about speaking to an owner of the NFL, what is immediately your first thought, you think?
Man, you know what? I want to know if he's buddies with other owners around the league. Like, who's he tight with?
Yeah, is there anybody he can lean on? Any owners that maybe he can text through the draft and say, what are you thinking? How you feeling? Maybe the lead up to the draft. Are they all on one phone? Do they all have just one phone call where they can pick it up and, automatically get a hold of every other owner? How easy is it going to be for another owner to get into the ownership group? No, sir. So we did Tusco and everything.
What's going on?
Well, sounds like the AJ Hawk jinx when he brings it up.
Yeah, whenever you mention something beforehand is normally when we're buying time to make the connection with the person. And then inevitably, because you brought it up, guess what? AJ Hawk's Ohio internet, that hasn't happened in some time, just bounces and shows up and goes to the other person. Thanks, AJ.
Yeah, thanks a lot, AJ.
Hope you feel
Sorry,
good.
guys.
Supposed to talk to a fucking NFL owner today. I mean, you're jinxing it.
Blame it on me. That's fine.
It's your fault. So
I'm not blaming anybody. We're just pointing to the facts. OBJ tweeted this weekend that Deebo Samuel was going to the Patriots. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that it caused a bit of a stir.
Yeah, well, I might have been a little bit intoxicated at the time of reading it, but OBJ's not going to lie. Why would Odell Beckham Jr. lie to me or to anybody or to Twitter? He loves his people that follow along. So as soon as he puts that, I'm like, oh, he's got to know something that we don't know. Deebo's going to the Patriots, and then all of a sudden, insider of all insider, with a drink in his hand, Ian Rappaport tells Connor, nah, this ain't nothing. What do you think about this? There had to be something, right? Even though Deebo came out and said, at this point, bro, just be bored or something like that. Maybe he is just trolling, and if that's the case, awesome. Shout out to OBJ if he's just trolling, as Deebo alluded to. Is this maybe something you think? Is this a conversation piece? Did OBJ ruin it maybe and made it public?
I mean, I hope OBJ didn't ruin it, but maybe if this was not a thing, hopefully that maybe the Patriots saw this and like, hey, let's make this a thing.
Seemed like all our Patriots fans were pretty pumped up. As soon as he tweeted this, you were excited?
Yeah, definitely. Especially because, the Patriots traded Jimmy G to the Niners. That brought them a lot of success. Maybe they just say, you know what, let's give one back and we'll give Deebo to the Patriots for N'Keal Harry and a 5th-round pick or something.
What's the deal with N'Keal Harry? You're trying to get him out of town.
We have a stacked wide receiver room at the moment. It is a very
so
deep
Deebo,
list.
there's not enough room for
There's plenty of room for Deebo, but Deebo and N'Keal Harry are not on the same level, I wouldn't say. So N'Keal Harry, there might not be enough room for him, unfortunately.
It sounds like all insiders, and all insiders might be full of shit. We talked to Brandon Bean earlier, and he doesn't know what's real. None of us do, especially looking back on this draft. We have to take it from a month and a half before the draft to really understand. But it feels like all the insiders from all the different angles are saying, like, the Niners do not want to trade. The Niners do not. Now, once again, last year, nobody knew who the Niners wanted to take until day of draft either. So the Niners might be really good at keeping things in-house. But from all insiders, it sounds like the Niners are like, nah, we got him for 2 more years. We are not trading Deebo Samuel, who is a guy. We think we can make it right. That's why that tweet, I think, was even bigger in the end, because that would go against everything we have heard, AJ.
Well, don't you think I assume they really want to keep him on the team. They want to find a way to make things right and give him a contract. But also, they know this is leverage too. If we do have to move on, if he says, no, I'm not coming back there, and we're forced to trade him, you want to drive the market.
I took a piss and I took my drink with me and I left it.
Shit.
You saw me.
Is it you in that bathroom over there?
No,
not.
my bathroom. My bathroom.
It's fine.
Oh, good.
That bathroom the boys have taken care of since the last time, by the way. Thank you for being adults. Thank you for being adults, boys. Joining us now is a man that guides one of 32 teams in the biggest league on earth. Was one of the youngest general managers in the history of the NFL. Has been around the game literally since he was a child. The owner of the Indianapolis Colts. The leader of the Jim Irsay Band and Collection. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Irsay. What's up, man?
Patrick, what's happening? All I can say is happy birthday, brother.
Oh, thank you.
The big 35.
Hey, thank you, boss. I'm getting old, I'm getting old now. I never thought I'd make it to 35.
Well, I tell you, you're a young 35, and I'm still thinking that, the call's going to come in. I between you and Andrew, we got bets here. It's just that you make more money than Andrew now. How could that happen? He was supposed to be making $50 million a year, and now look at you. So congratulations! What prosperity, and you've earned it all, my friend. So we're so proud of you, and just the horseshoe so proud of you to have someone who just has so many followers with your show, and you guys entertain and have, it's just an incredible following. Where it's just couldn't be more proud of you, my friend.
Well, thank you, boss. I appreciate you. I got some sound business advice from you the day I told you I was going to retire, and you were sitting behind maybe the nicest desk I've ever seen, smoking a vape, and you told stories for 90 minutes that enlightened me on so much. And then the follow-up, then the text message. You have been awesome to me. So I want to let you know.
Well, you got your vape out. You had some stuff in there. You said, "Welcome to a young man's world." I said, and you said Bolly was going to be walking through the door. I said, "What?" I didn't know what you were talking about. But, no, look, I'm not going to let you off the hook on your birthday, brother. I'm sorry. I appreciate it. You know me. I just, I'm excited about your birthday, and I know you're a gamer. You're a world wrestler. I mean, a great renown. You're still in great shape. So, just to challenge you, Mr. McAfee, I just have a special challenge. And it's always good because it's your 35th birthday and it's for charity. Okay. So, during the halftime of a Colts game this year, you have to kick a 35-yard field goal.
No problem.
And then complete a 35-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Wayne in the end zone.
He's coaching.
And if you can complete this duo event, we have $1 million for Kick the Stigma charity, $1 million for IU Cancer, and $1 million for the charity of your choice. But no failings out there, young men. The crowd will be there. The pressure will be there. You miss, they'll be talking Vanderjack. You miss that. That goes to that kick will be in your mind. We'll play it right before you have your kick. And then Reggie will be in the end zone, and you have to, have the fake punt and complete that thing for a 35-yard touchdown pass. Now, that's not easy under pressure with a, one-time try. But this will be, Reggie's ready. I already talked to him. He's in. So now we'll just pick what halftime will work for your schedule. And we're going to do this if you accept.
Yes, I accept. What are we even saying?
Pagano accepted those free throws also, and he didn't do very well.
I would be honored to do that. I appreciate that. $3 million on the line. I mean, that's a big time kick.
I know, but the pressure's on you. You let these charities down. How can you live with yourself? And then you may have to pocket it.
Yeah, I know.
You may have to dig deep and say, I'm in great regret. I've messed up. I've missed. And now I have to step up. So awesome. The pressure's going to be on you.
All right. I'm already getting excited about it. Now, listen, I live a pretty fun life right now. Happy-go-lucky. The thought of a $3 million kick in now, Reggie's got a big catch radius.
Yeah.
Reggie's got a big catch radius. So that's
right.
That's no problem.
If you can't depend on Reggie to catch, well, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I gave you the best. You know that.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, Patrick. Hey, it'll be a lot of fun for the fans, and we'll have the charities there. It'll be a lot of fun doing, and you do those things so well. And and plus, if the game wasn't already sold out, they'll be scalping tickets just to see you. And you bring in a big house. So we're going to have expanded seating for this game for the halftime performance.
You're the best. I appreciate you. You're the man. And once again, this leads me to what I said earlier. Now, the kicking the stigma and what you're doing with that, we definitely want to dive into and talk about, because what your family's getting behind is massive. But being a billionaire, being an owner, we've all talked about, that is something, your position is something that everybody desires and is dreaming of. And I think we're learning about that even more now with a couple teams going up for sale. At what point did you realize, okay, like, I'm an NFL owner, but I'm allowed to be a human as well? You know, you play music, you collect things that you enjoy, you tell stories. I see you when you're out and about, you literally hand out hundreds to everybody. You feel like you're almost obligated to give back to people. At what point, have you always been that way? Did something happen? What changed you to kind of live your life the way you do?
Well, I just, growing up in Chicago with, parents from the Depression era and World War II, I worked. When it was summertime and I was going to play football at SMU in the summer, my dad's like, you're going to work construction. So, I was like downtown Chicago doing demolition work, on these buildings with a fake union card and a half an hour lunch break and, getting on the L train at 5 a.m. And just like in training camp when I started, you had to be there at 6 a.m. and you worked hard and you did all that. And you kind of come from that, thankfully, that work ethic. So it's something that, to me, is very, I guess, in other words, first, it was just a normal life, and I've had, a bloated visa bill, and house payments sitting there and stuff. So it kind of happened quickly because my dad never really, it was funny at the time when he got sick and passed away. We were fighting over a raise, and I'm not giving you a raise. Just and going through that stuff. So it was kind of like you grow up a certain way. My grandparents were immigrants. They came from Poland and Hungary through Ellis Island, and my grandmother was a poor inner city maid. So so those things stick with you, and then when you are blessed enough to come into that position, your origin more, like John Lennon says, a working class hero is something to be, and I'm always more tied to that, it's just like Springsteen and his upbringing in New Jersey, and his dad worked at the factory and stuff. You get integrated as a young person, and that's just the way you don't grow up, really. I didn't grow up thinking, I'll be a billionaire someday or anything like that. I just wanted to be involved in football and have my chance, to do eventually everything I could to run a football team and that sort of thing unencumbered. And that was always my goal. I think, how it is. What you did because you loved. You, as a kid, you picked up a football, you played, you didn't think, oh, someday, I'm going to sign a contract for $100 million after I retire. And you just did it because you love playing. And I was the same way. I love football, and I was just drawn towards it. And we were just blessed to be in an industry like NFL football that became so popular. And I think really none of the older owners that bought their teams for Art Rooney Sr. came back from the racetrack in 1932 with $2,500 winnings and bought the Steelers. The old AFL guys put up $25,000. And, the original guys put up IOUs for $100. George House, who was at my wedding, was one of the guys in that Humpmobile showroom in 1920. And no one went into it thinking, we're going to be billionaires. We're going to be like Rockefeller or whatever. That wasn't even in the thought process. We loved football. Back then they got on trains. They barely made payroll. The Packers are called the Packers because they were running out of money and they took $500 from a packing company. A lot of people said, why the Packers? Where does that name come from when you really think about it? But they took $500 because, that's what they needed to keep, their business running back in the 1920s, So it's like, I come from that origin. I knew Paul Brown and I knew Art Rooney Sr. And George Hallis was at my wedding. And so those, that's kind of my origin. So this territory isn't, really, I don't really feel like I'm part of it. There's no blue blood in these veins, put it that way.
Go ahead, AJ.
Mr. Irsay, what's your favorite thing about being an NFL owner? And have you ever let yourself think about what your life would look like if you weren't the owner of the Colts?
I think the favorite thing is just to bring joy to people. I think that this life's a tough journey, and there's a lot of tough things we all go through. And human suffering, for the lack of a better word. And when we come to a stadium and you're in that stadium, and it's Patriots versus Colts for the championship game, or it's Buffalo versus Kansas City for the division championship game, a game like last year in the division. The magic, the unity, what it brings to a community, how it brings joy to people, there's nothing like it. I mean, I can't find it anywhere. And so it's just such a privilege. You want to bring greatness. You want to bring, that possibility of saying, okay, with Matt Ryan this year, with the team we had, maybe we can be down in Arizona in February. And the fans, everyone gets behind you, and it's great because, and plus, I think affecting the community. My big thing is the horseshoe. It is seriously involved in changing the world and making it a better place, alleviating suffering, helping people and changing things, and mostly inspiring, because, one teaspoon of inspiration can change everything, and this world, we all know, God knows, with what's going on and with Russia and everything right now, and all the, and different things we see going through COVID. You just really want to be there to change the world. And we, are the game we play. I mean, you played it, so I mean, it's, it's so special, and so that's the biggest thing, I think. And I always kind of think of myself as a steward. It's a big responsibility, because I, look, at the horseshoe, and I come before it, and the expectations are, hey, it's in your hands. The buck stops there. Your responsibility, is not only to win, but win the right way and change the world, and have people that love to have the horseshoe on their jackets or hats, or be proud about that. But I love the responsibility of meeting up with that challenge, and certainly the competitive fire that you get from winning, because I love to win, and I know you're a defensive player, and I love to kick ass on defense. I was just talking to Gus Bradley about it, and he said, well, Frank Reich told me about you. Now I understand. It's like, you're damn right. Let's go out and play some physical football. So it's such a thrill. I don't feel like I even have a job. I mean, to be able to do this for a living, and I know we all feel that way. You look in the draft room and you see the scouts and you see the people that are working. They're so thrilled to be in the National Football League and have a chance. And you guys that played the game, guys like us in college that, just weren't any good to get past SMU level. I had teammates like Byron Hunt, who was the opposite side of Lawrence Taylor with the Giants. And it's just such a thrill, and to see you guys and to see this new draft class come in. I mean, I talk to these guys on the phone, and I mean, it is just, their lives are transforming right before them.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's like, how does it feel to be drafted in the National Football League? My God. Because I know what it's like. I mean, I went to SMU intentionally so NFL would scout it, where I'd have teammates that would be guys that would go into the NFL, because I really, wanted to experience like what that was like, and it's incredible. It's just incredible, and a blessing to be part of it,
Yeah, you're one of the decision makers on dreams coming true. I was one of them, picked 222 13 years ago, or whatever the case. And the whole thing you just said, a teaspoon of inspiration can really do wonders, or whatever. Hope is really all anybody's looking for, and the NFL has provided that for so many people, for so many generations. You should be very fucking proud that you're one of the old school guys, Jim. Let's move along. You said something in that answer, though, that was awesome. you said, hey, with Matt Ryan under center in this roster, why not? Why? And you have been an owner that has been very open, like, hey, we're here to win. I don't know what every other ownership group is talking about. We are here to win. I'm going to build a new facility. I'll give you everything you possibly could need. Let's win here, which is, I think, why people love playing for the shoe. Why did you think there needed to be a quarterback change from Carson? There's been a lot of shit that has been said publicly about how you feel about it all. And why did you think Matt Ryan was the right guy? And how involved with both of those decisions were you?
Well, it's so important, and you guys know, playing in the NFL and those things about the quarterback position. That the interesting thing is you can't just get Peyton Manning or John Elway, put your feet up and say, well, the work's over. We'll just win multiple Super Bowls. I mean, Peyton in 2001, we lost 6 games. He was completely healthy at 24 years old, and Edgerrin had got hurt, and the roster had got diminished. And we weren't quite ready yet. And even though we had Peyton Manning, it wasn't enough. But on the other hand, if you have everything else in place, that is the guy. We know more than ever today the way that the rules have changed, the way we throw the ball, just everything. You have to have that guy. I mean, and if you want to get to where we want to get to, and like they say, I talk about winning 3 straight Super Bowls, and people say, oh, that's, ridiculous. Look, it's been said, if your dreams, aren't big enough to fail at getting, then they're not big enough. I mean, you go out and you really dream about, what you really want to do on the highest level. And I think bringing in Matt was clearly an essential thing for us because we needed consistency, we needed leadership, we needed those sort of things that we were just, missing, in the end. And believe me, Carson did his best to bring it. I mean, he worked so hard. He came in, just trying to bring everything he could bring, and so I give him credit for that. I mean, it's not that it wasn't his lack of trying or something that didn't get us there, but it just wasn't the right mix for us or him. And Matt is such a perfect mix here, and it really is exciting. Like I said, you look in the eyes of, Frank Reich or Chris Ballard and people in the organization, they just turn into a big smile and just go, I haven't really experienced this since Peyton's days, having a guy like this. I mean, this is a Navy SEAL. This is an astronaut who's going to Mars. This is the right stuff guy. Special. I mean, he's the type of guy, if you're landing on an aircraft carrier, you want him being the pilot. I mean, special guys. And there's not a lot of guys around that can do it. And there's not a lot of guys around, who want to do it, because it's not easy being that guy. I mean, everything's on you. I mean, you walk through Indianapolis this year and everyone's just staring at Matt Ryan's arm. It's like, that's our future. Don't touch that arm. Something happens to that right arm, we're done. It's just, and it's just, it's incredible, because, he brings something at this point at 36 years old and all he's done and the person he is. It was just a perfect fit for us. And sometimes we didn't know that was happening. I talked to Chris about that and Frank when, that night, after Jacksonville in the office and going forward, it's like, we can't.
Hey, were you pissed, Jim? Jim, were you pissed? They were dressed like clowns in the stands. They were dressed like clowns, Jim. They were dressed like clowns down there, Jim.
Well, I can't say I have the words to say what I was. It just, just thank God I'm a law-abiding citizen and that it wasn't medieval times. I mean, it's just like, it was beyond, pissed and bewilderment. Honestly, I don't think I'd ever, I've experienced some losses in the last half century, some really tough losses, but I've never been through anything like that. Really, I'd never. Sure, we're all set up and we lose at home to Pittsburgh or San Diego and Peyton's here when, we're winning 13, 14 games or something, after a bye week and everything. And I mean, that's, super tough. And losing to New Orleans in the Super Bowl, obviously those are always, you just never get over that. But this was different. I had never experienced anything like this. I mean, because again, you have to remember the game wasn't even close. We weren't even competitive, and to make it even seem worse, they won and still got the first pick. I mean, it's just like, how do you even? There's no logic. It's like 2 and 2 equals 7. I mean, it's like, what? I mean, I thought I'd seen everything. You knew there was a ghost in the machine. I mean, that's not a question of being a little bit, well, we were a little, I don't know why we're a little flat today. Flat? That is not flat. I don't have a word for what it is, but, flat doesn't do it. It's just, it really was something. Honestly, it was something. I mean, after the Raider game, it was so hard because you're 8-point favorites at home, and that's where you got to get it. You really want to clinch that there, but everyone is just figuring, well, thank God, we get to go to Jacksonville, and again, it wasn't even competitive. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
I wish I was in there. Hey, Jim, I do know what you're saying because I was having the same exact thoughts that you were probably having. You just so happen to be the owner. And I think the fact that you and most of the fans share the same emotions is why the Indianapolis Colts have been good for so long, because you won't sit back and let that type of shit just become the norm, which is great news.
I mean, before the half, and it's like, call the airplane, we're going home. You're just going. I mean, everyone, around you's trying to be optimistic. It's like, get away from me. I see reality. I mean, this ship has sailed. It was just something like I've never seen.
All right, let's move on. Hey, let's move on. We're going to move on. We got Matt Ryan now, Navy SEAL, astronaut. Let's go. That was a great comparison, by the way, that he just is a separator as opposed to just somebody in the NFL. I want to ask you about the league because not a lot of people get a chance to really experience the league like you did. Obviously, from the jocks and socks all the way through GM and being hands-on day to day, now your ownership. We hear about this 1 per club meeting that happens at the owners' meetings. Is that when everything's actually handled? Is that when all of the big time decisions are made? Or how is the process of decision making in the NFL, you think? Because so many billions of dollars are on the line, every single thought process that happens for you guys. How important is that 1 per club meeting? And how often are you guys in contact with each other ownership wise?
Well, it's a great question, actually, and it's a great question more than ever in these times, because, I'm a big advocate on where we're at with that. And, yes, we've started this 1 per club meeting where not only 1 per club, but principal owner only. And if the principal owner is not there, the club cannot be represented. And number 2 is, you see, we have a lot of owners that are new owners that have been in the league for not too long. We have, some owners that, are taking over for, their family, like in Detroit or something, or Tennessee, that, haven't been owners and now are becoming owners. So, and then you have some owners that are really, dominant, hands-on, up involved in everything. And my position is, and it kind of, happens at these meetings. I'm like, hey, get up and ask questions, get involved. You don't have to be shy about asking any and every question. This is your league. At the league office, they work for you. Everyone at the league office works for you. And this is your league, and know what's going on. And don't be afraid to ask, because, there's big issues that come up, and and people say, well, God, I didn't really even know that. I mean, I just, and it's like, but they don't even get up and ask sometimes. It's unbelievable, and again, it comes from this aspect of like, well, maybe I don't want to look like I don't know, or I don't want to, maybe I shouldn't, but really it's trying to initiate more the older days when, there was 15 teams only and only the owners met, and George Hallis was there, and, Tim Merritt was there, and the, real guys that founded this league, and they got involved and made decisions, and everyone, because committees are great, but you get these pockets that start controlling things, and, I'm not a big believer that if you're not on the right committee, you're out of the loop. And you can be if, and we're trying to initiate more of that now, and get owners involved. I mean, only owners, only principal owners, and really talk about that, Pat, because it's a great question, because it's really something that's been going on, that's been on my heart a lot, and it's been, kind of an, I've been an advocate more of, if you don't know, ask, talk. You can say anything in these meetings to each other. I mean, these are your partners. Be direct and say what you want to ask. I mean, it's unbelievable sometimes. People just sit back and they don't. I mean, so it's a great question. These only owners meetings have kind of started more because, thankfully, they've been requested by some to just get more informed than they have been.
Is this meeting one of the places where you could stand up and say, or another owner could say, hey, Jimmy Haslam, you guaranteeing $230 million to Deshaun Watson really puts everybody else kind of in a tough spot when we're trying to acquire quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would, direct, a direct, I mean, you have to be careful with, with antitrust. I mean, you can express your opinion, but, you can't control, you can't, have side agreements with owners like, hey, we promise, right in your blood here, no guarantee contracts. I mean, you can't drift into those antitrust collusion laws, but you can. I mean, you absolutely can, talk like a man or a woman directly, like you talk to your friends. I mean, real talk, not bullshit. I mean, real talk. Say what you want to say. Look, I mean, don't be afraid to say it. I've done it many a time. There was a guy going to buy the Redskins, and he's in the room, and everyone's worried because he sues his partners. Is his MO. That's his history. He sues his partners, and they're worried about the guy. So, we have the meeting, and I just get up in front of only owners, and on record, I say, look, if you don't get the Redskins, do you promise not to sue the league? Quiet. And it's a yes or no answer only. Oh, well, and the meeting breaks down, the whole thing breaks down. And, afterwards, a few owners are like, oh, Jim, I can't believe you asked him that. It's like, well, why wouldn't I ask him that? I mean, what's he going to do, take a machine gun out and kill me in public or something? I mean, I don't understand. Why would you pussyfoot around? I mean, I'm from Chicago, we talk direct there, man. I mean, it's like, hey, you got a problem, I'm right here. I mean, you want to talk about it, please do, because that's when relationships are strengthened, and yeah, there's some frisky things that happen. We keep it in the room, though. It's really one of those things where, we don't like it to get out, to the media,
yeah, you
or
guys,
public.
hey, you guys always seem to be on the same page. It's one of the most impressive businesses that's ever been run, especially because it has become the biggest league on earth. You guys always seem to be on the same page, regardless of anything. So anytime there is a little bit of a disagreement among owners, for us who have to cover the sport on a day-to-day basis, we're like, well, this is not normal. This must be something. You guys always seem to be together. With the future of the NFL.
You know how it is? It's the same way when you were a teammate. You got your teammates back. You may not necessarily agree totally what that teammate's doing, but you're not going to go out publicly and, slay him. You're going to have his back. I mean, it's that unity, and you got to do it in private, in person. Sometimes directly to him, or her. Just you go up and say, hey, and this, this is how I feel. What are you doing? I want to know. Why did you do this? Or there's plenty of things that happen that way, and I think it's really important. As the direction of the league, I'm always, looking at, where we are now, but where we'll be 10, 20 years from now.
Oh, hey, Jim, let's get to that right now. There's a lot of money coming into the league, Jim. I mean, you're talking about Amazon's already in here. They're going to
not enough, Pat.
No, Jim.
Look at our brand. Amazon grosses $400 billion a year. We gross $22 billion a year. I mean, not enough. I mean, we have to get more expansive and understand that, yes, we always have to take care of the game. I mean, the old owners always talked about that. Don't grab every dollar you can. Protect the game, because you lose the game. The game is what matters the most, period, because the game is what's great. And with that game becomes so much interest and prosperity. But I don't want ticket brokers taking my money, fantasy football. People monetize your money. I mean, that's something, that is too much of that has gotten out. And we can also do a lot more, expanding. I mean, look at, Amazon's going to the moon, okay? Musk, and Bezos, they're interested in Mars. I mean, that's not what they do, but they're smart enough to know, hey, space is going to be big bucks, and I'm on it. That's my company, but to be able to go to Mars, for instance, privately, which you can't totally privately do, but to be involved in space, you have to set up a whole different section of your corporation, and it takes massive overseeing, of really smart people, because it's fine to have dreams and great, visions on how you can expand, but it's how you execute it and how you monitor it and who are the people you're putting your trust in, because you can't do things you don't know about, but you can hire people smarter than you to do them and make sure they're on your side. So we have to look differently going forward as a league at what we're doing, and we're starting to. But we can do a lot of things.
You think Europe? Hey, Jim, is Europe your Mars? You think? You think Europe? You think Europe is the next big one for the NFL? How do you think expansion goes?
Well, I'd like to play on the moon, and we will someday. Trust me, but I don't think I'll be alive for it.
I would like to kick. I would like to kick the ball there.
Someone unearthed this tape. I don't know if it's going to be 2162 or when it will be, but there'll be a dome on the moon. There'll be a game there. It'll be great. There won't be any beaches or anything, but there'll be holographs, and we'll make it look like Dubai. It turns into, hey, this was just a desert. Now look at it. It's a jungle. Anything's possible. I think that with expansion, there's some exciting possibilities. We should be in London. I really feel like that. It's very simple. You have to have an owner with enough means, and he has a base in London, a base in America, and the league helps with the schedule. It's a shame. I mean, the Concords were doing great. You figured, well, they're going to be like, DC-10, 747 size Concords by now. And instead, they just shut the whole thing down, and you're like, well, God, whatever happened to the Concorde? I mean, we're going, from New York to London in 3 hours, and now it's like no more Concords. I mean, so progress is interesting. You want it to happen faster. It's just like I'm frustrated with flying cars because I'm obsessed with that. Like I want a flying car.
Me too.
What I got is my phone instead. It's like, well, the future is on your phone really right now. It's not like literally in front of you. You can't get into a flying car, but your phone has it all. It's like, I don't want this phone. I'm not going to have this phone 14 hours a day like you young people do. No, thank you. Like, I'm not from that generation. But, give me a flying car. And honestly, when we shut down the Mars missions, we were supposed to be going in 2024, and we shut it down. But a lot of people don't realize is, from here to the moon is 208,000 miles roughly. 200. So you can think about that. Well, in this country, a long road trip could be 4,000 miles, and how far it is to Australia. So 200,000 miles. That you think about that, and that's far, but like Mars. Think about this: is 250 million miles. 250 million miles. So, that's a little different thing because, when you go, it takes about anywhere from, 9 to 11 months to get there, depending on the alignment.
Are you going to fucking Mars?
And so,
Jim, are you going to Mars? It sounds like you're...
I wish I was. Maybe you'll have, I think you have a chance to do a show from there when you're 80, Pat. I don't think it'll be soon enough for me, but I love the fact that, where the future may go but I think so much about our game and make sure that our game, is protected as we go forward, because there's been a lot of changes in it. We've been through, some difficult times with trying to deal with the changes and deal with concussions and deal with the physicality of it by keeping it the same way. And, I've always been, I don't really agree with it. I mean, look, I played at SMU for free, and, I got beat up in those things, but I wouldn't change it.
Football.
It's like mountain climbers. It's like you fall sometimes, It's like, that's the thrill of the climb, It just, don't do it. Are you stupid? If you don't want someone 300 pounds running 4.6 to knock the hell out of you, then don't play football.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
There's
Did anyone chain you in handcuffs and say, you must play this game? No. You do it because you choose to. And, we always did it because we chose to. And, we did it because we love playing, And I never experienced professional football. And, I always envied you guys that did, because it was so remarkable to be that good to get to that level,
I think there's an expected level of danger that comes with football, but as more and more data and analytics come out, I assume you guys will continue to adjust the game so the league will be in good hands for when we get to Mars in 50 years or so. Or maybe Jim Irsay buys the Concorde plane company back and we're able to get to London quicker for a team in London. Expansion should be beautiful. I can't thank you enough for joining us. I would like to hit on the kicking the stigma thing, though, because what you have done with your family to let people know, like, hey, mental health affects us all. The stigma that it's a negative thing should be no more. It should just be naturally understood that people go through stuff, and some are going through more than others. Kicking the stigma has been a beautiful thing that you've really wrapped your entire being around. I guess there's a Kurt Cobain auction coming up that you're going to get involved with.
Yeah, they're going to donate 5%. Julian's auction house, who we know Julian, and that's great that the family and the auction house have set this up for 5% donation. So, certainly he shocked the world when this Australian billionaire bought his Unplugged guitar from MTV for $6 million. Broke every record I had, with David Gilmour's Pink Floyd guitar, $4 million. So, who knows what this is going to go for, but it's going to be for a great cause. And you're right, Pat. Look at so many exciting things going on in this world, like football and like watching your show and having a good time. And, when you have mental illnesses, that gets all taken away from you. You're alone, you're scared, you're miserable, you don't want to stay on this planet. And we're out to reach those people, because it doesn't have to be that way. And we're also out to reach to change the insurance industry that just won't, allow insurance to pay for a lot of mental health things, which, destroys families and, makes mothers get second mortgages on their house, to save their daughter's life, who's, trying to get special help for her eating disorder. It's terrible. But in this country that goes on, and, so there's a lot of work to be done there. We appreciate you mentioning it. And you get a chance to kick the stigma by making your field.
All right.
You could help us So don't miss.
Hey, it'll be an honor, just like it is to chat with you and it was to work for you. You're an absolute legend, and I appreciate your time, Jim. I can't wait to talk to you again.
All right, buddy. Well, we're peers now, so you can borrow my plane and I'll borrow your plane when ours are in the shop.
Okay. Hey, that'll be perfect. I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Love you guys. Love the show. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, owner of the Indianapolis Colts, Jim Irsay. So this is the thing about Jim. You have to listen. Right? You have to listen. He was talking about expansion of the NFL, and that led him to people thinking about going to Mars in this whole thing. And he's talking about how there's an entire process of expansion, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of forethought and people that are a lot smarter. But that's how he compared it to. Is like fucking 200 million miles we're planning on going to. Like that is how he talks about going to London. The thought about the Concorde planes, though, that is real.
Yeah.
It was a 3-hour flight. It was a super turbo jet, whatever the fuck it was.
Connie.
That was flying people from New York to London like this. It was supposed to bring our marketing world together, like stock markets, the entire business. Like it was supposed to bring Europe and North America together, I think, and then it kind of disappeared. I wonder if the NFL was like, well, if these planes are a 3-hour trip, I mean, that's shorter than the fucking time from LA to New York. We could certainly have a team. That'll make the world smaller. Jim needs to buy that company and get them back up and running. Maybe the NFL does that, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it was just because they had a couple of really high-profile crashes with those. I think that was the only reason it got scrapped.
How about Jim going, what happened to the Concorde?
Yeah. Can we not get this man a flying car?
Oh, seriously?
Yes, way to go. All the technological advances are with a phone. Okay, I can take cinematic pictures of my grandkids. That's awesome, all right? What about me? What about the technological advance? Can we get a flying car already? I'm on a jetpack. I would like a jetpack, but a flying car, much, much better. By the way, he knows, right? He's in a lot of conversation and knowing a lot of stuff. Mars and Moon sound like we're right around the corner.
Seriously. Yeah, it feels like that.
You know?
Well, Mars is a little bit different. When he says 9 to 11 month trip, good luck.
Yeah, if you wanted to call a game when you were 80 up there, or kick up there, you have to leave at 79 just so you can
to the Moon or to Mars?
To Mars.
Yeah, he's saying I'm doing a show at Moon in 80 years probably, or 50 years. I think. I don't know about Mars. By the way, would love to kick the first ball on the Moon.
Yeah.
Would have the record forever. That ball's still going.
Yeah, that's right.
I once kicked the ball indefinitely.
Still hasn't landed.
Still going. We're back tomorrow in about 21 hours with hopefully a better show. Big thanks to Jim Irsay. Chris Mad Dog Russo's on the other side of this 10-minute break. Fucking home run.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Foxy with the after hours said,
I just
fuck
said
it.
it to Nick. I didn't hit the after hours.
Yeah, fuck it, Foxy said it's Monday, no big deal. Jim's the man.
Yeah, he's so awesome.
35-yard kick.
Best owner in all sports. By far.
If you get to know, I'm very lucky that I've got to know him. He came and started talking to me after I got into my situation, my alleged event, you know?
Yeah.
Because my first year, he was around, and it was all the older team, though. They were all friends. All the older guys were like friends with him. Vinatieri was friends with him. Peyton was friends with him. Dallas was friends with him. So he would come to practice, and I'd be in the groups with the people that he was talking to. And, Pat, like a quick, but the conversations were never with me, if that makes sense. It was always other people. Then after I get in trouble, after that week, he came down and talked to me when I got back or whatever, and we had like a 45-minute conversation on the side of the field. And it was at that moment, I think Jim was like, all right, I like this guy. And I was like, all right, I like this guy. And then whenever a new regime came in, my contract was up. They were looking to clear house of everybody, basically. They were painting over the walls. Like, hey, this is a brand new team. There was only a few veterans kept around. And I was negotiating my contract, and they sent me an offer, and it was terrible, and said, there's no loyalty between us. We did not draft you. And I was like, all right, well, fuck this team. I guess I'm on my way. And then Jim Irsay said, McAfee's not going anywhere, brother. And I was franchise tagged the next morning. So, and then a deal was done basically the next year, and it was one of those things. So I've always been very thankful to Jim Irsay. He's always been very nice to me. And the people that judge him, I think obviously he's battled his demons and everything like that has happened. But I think he's the most human owner that there is, I think personally, because of all the demons that he's battled, because of everything he's gone through. I think it's made him the most human in my eyes. I don't know. Maybe I might be missing a point here.
No, I mean, it seems like it's tough for people to relate to billionaires and people who own NFL teams. But if you actually listen to what he's saying, absolutely. Like he genuinely feels like, I don't know him personally, but he definitely sounds like he's authentic and he really does want to affect change for the better. He really cares.
I will say I did bust out my vape after I seen he had his vape.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I believe we were smoking on different vapes, but still nonetheless. He was like, who's walking in the door? What type of retirement conversation is this? He's the man. All right. Well, I appreciate him for joining us. Tony, need you to do a T4, though, real quick.
Yes.
So that we can say that we covered all the tournaments that are happening. And this is going to be 2 episodes of Tony's Tasty Tournament Talk, because not only is it episode 10 of the NBA version of T4, it is now episode 1 of NHL T4.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show that's been sweeping the sports globe, hosted by one half of the Hammer Dahn Cowboys, Ton Diggs. It is time for T4 Ton's Tasty Tournament Talk. What are we starting with and what are we going into next?
We're starting with the NBA. Okay, because round 2, we are in round 2 of the NBA. And that kicked off yesterday. Milwaukee started by beating the fuck out of Boston without Middleton. Giannis had an incredible game. Drew Holiday had an incredible game. Milwaukee goes up 1-0 on the Celtics to start things off yesterday.
Wow.
And then we go to the afternoon game. That was Golden State in Memphis, and that was a beautiful game.
Barn burner.
Beautiful game.
Loved it. A lot of dogs on that court.
A lot of dogs. Draymond gets a flagrant 2, which I would say 95% of the league, that would have been a flagrant 1 on. Draymond gets tossed. He fucking hypes up the crowd, even though it's a away crowd. Jordan Poole went for 30. Steph went for 20. Clay hit a huge shot at the end. Ja had 34. Clay played incredible defense on Ja on the game-winning shot. Steph played incredible defense with under a minute left. So Golden State takes a 1-0 lead on Memphis. The other series starts tonight.
Was Memphis supposed to be this good?
They're young. They were up and coming last year. Ja won most improved player, which is bullshit.
Hey, it sucks they got to play each other, though. We need Ja and Steph and the Warriors in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the 2 favorites right now to win the NBA are both in the West. It's Golden State and Suns, and then the third favorite is Milwaukee out of the East. So, but tonight,
Celtics not even in the
no,
conversation.
tonight
never
Heat
are.
and Sixers,
Yes,
Embiid's
underdogs.
out. Probably.
Oh wait, Embiid's out because of a coaching situation.
Kind of. They were up by
29.
basically 30 with 4 minutes left in the closing game against the Raptors, and he fractured his orbital and got a concussion. So now he is not playing against the Heat, at least for tonight. Yikes!
Orbital, that's your eyeball?
Yeah, probably should have been in the game.
So is he
a lot
wearing a
of
mask
people
when
are
he comes
saying.
back?
It's gonna be a big mask. He's a big guy.
He's
Big
worn one
mask.
before. It basically covers everything from like the nose up. It's
I wouldn't be
crazy.
able to do it. I'm very impressed by the guys that are able to put that thing on their face. And if there's any steam or anything, like I would think, I can't see anything. I would be, I'd be a little bit of a.
I'd be claustrophobic a little bit, I feel like.
Well, it's not even like the Rip Hamilton one you're thinking of that like LeBron's worn. It's like a Kevlar, like metal. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how people do it. Madcap was doing it there for a little bit.
Yeah.
He had a mask on his face. And also Ridge Holland was doing it actually.
Yes, it's more like that
And
one.
I'm like, man, I would freak out with that, I think.
These are not basketball players.
No,
but similar
Same-
masks.
same mask.
Same mask.
I can't do it with the things right on my, like sunglasses when I'm golfing, even difficult.
No,
for me.
thank you. Can't do it.
I don't like
I'm
that.
with you. Yeah, I'm with you for sure.
I don't like it.
So a lot of people were asking why he was in the game up 30 with 4 minutes left when the series was pretty much over. And then Suns and Mavs to close it out tonight. Booker's back. Luka's on the other side. You know, that'll be a good series. That's where we're at for the NBA.
Okay, way to go, T4. Now with the NHL, let's go to the ice.
NHL.
Tony skates.
Tonight we kick off Canes and Bruins. Bruins stink. Fuck them.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh, this is not. That
This
is
is
not a
T4.
biased T4.
What are you talking about?
What are we
It is
doing?
non-biased. You're looking for it. That was a biased T4.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, it was biased.
I
Yes.
don't know.
Lightning haven't won, or Lightning have won the last 2 cups. Leafs haven't won since '94, I believe. So, even though the Leafs are favored, that's an interesting
Leafs
one.
haven't won since '67.
67. I'm talking about a playoff series. Wild are favorites against the Blues. A lot of big guys on the Blues. Remember, come playoff time,
Oh, yeah. You don't want to run into the
Big
Blues.
boys.
Marc-Andre
Big
Fleury's
boys.
on the Wild, though.
That's
Oilers
John
and
Hamm's
Kings. Nobody
Yeah,
that's right.
cares. Pens play tomorrow night.
We'll talk about that tomorrow,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep.
Talk about that tomorrow. Was that good for hockey there, Nicky Skates?
He got a couple, but he got the gist of it right. He got the main.
Thank
the main
you,
thing.
Except for the
Good
Bruins.
work, Tony. Good work, Tony.
Panthers and Avs are the favorites to win it all.
The Panthers?
Panthers and the Avs are the favorites.
To win the championship?
To win the championship.
Bruins are
to lift
third?
the cup. No.
Bruins
don't
not
think
even
they're-
right, just like the Celtics.
What?
What is the deal? Boston's got a lot to prove.
believe it.
No,
Yeah,
Boston's in the
Sox are dead,
playoffs
too.
no matter what, so
Canes
who
are
cares?
You know, Phil finished that Pittsburgh Marathon.
Shout out.
Uh-huh.
The Pens are about to win it all. Congrats, Phil.
Nice shot, Phil. Good omen.
Thanks, Phil.
Good pace too.
Phil's been on a good run right now. Yeah, I guess he sprinted the last 2 miles
Jesus Christ.
because he said he felt good or whatever. I
How's
talked
he
to
feel
him.
today?
He said he's a bit sore. His feet. His feet became a problem when he was
Very
running.
wet.
Yeah.
Did he tape his nips? Don't they tape their nips so they don't bleed?
Zito sent him some nip slips actually.
Yeah, shout out. Happy birthday.
But it was
Andy
raining.
Bernard.
Hey, it was terrible rain. Was that in the office?
Oh, the whole time?
Was that the one you watched live in studio when Andy Bernard's nips were in a problem?
No, that they were outside for that episode. I was not there.
Oh, okay.
It was an early one. That was a fun run.
But Phil, downpour, I guess. And he texted me that was the schedule maybe on Thursday or Friday. I was like, good, I'll cool you down. And he goes, I hate when my feet are wet.
Sloshy shoot. Was he wearing Hokas?
I don't know if he wore Brooks, I think. I think he's a Brooks runner. I think it was Brooks. They had nice shoes. He had them down in Texas. He was running around in them.
Oh, yeah, those were sweet.
They were nice.
Hey, imagine
shoes.
those Hokas. If you would run in the rain with those Hokas with the 9-inch heels, when those soaking with water, every step would be so loud and just, yeah, it'd be terrible.
It'd probably be comfortable. He probably wouldn't be dealing with
Yeah,
any feet stuff.
less
if he went
water.
to Hookers. I'm not sure. There's our
Good
guy.
job, Phil.
Let's go, Phil. Congrats, Phil.
McGee's Women's Hospital, by the way, sponsored that entire thing. That is where I was born.
Shout out.
Really? Okay.
Yep, down in Oakland. That's where
W.
I was born.
Let's go.
That's right. It's a good place.
Full circle.
Actually, I don't know much about it, but I
No,
was
great institution.
great institution. McGee's.
There you go.
Down there, McGee's.
You knew.
I knew it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
That's where I came from.
Great institution.
Bingo.
They got it right too. I look a lot like my parents. You know, I guess there's some places on the internet I said it mix babies up. Like, hey,
Yeah,
Really?
a lot happens a lot more than people think.
yeah, that's what the internet always says.
You're supposed to bring a Sharpie, I believe, to the birth and then mark your kid.
Like with like a spot like on the foot.
Yeah.
Forehead.
I was
That-
working there
that's what
one
love
day,
is.
and there was a baby
Jesus.
was born in the bathroom. The woman did not know she was pregnant.
Jesus
At
Christ.
McGee's, so she got to the hospital.
How do you not know you're pregnant? That's I have a hard time believing that.
Why, have you ever been pregnant?
No, but when someone is 9 months pregnant and they all of a sudden have a kid, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know."
Feels like they were trying to cover something up for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, unless you just got massive active poops, right?
Yeah.
and you might not know the
huge
first like
dumps.
6 months.
I mean, there's been a couple poops that I've had where I'm like, I wonder if this is what pregnancy feels like. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? A couple like, whoa.
Similar.
Probably exactly the same.
No, it's nowhere near it. But I'm just saying the cooking in the
Right.
stomach. I wonder, after like I'll get off keto or whatever. I'll be on keto, then I'll get off keto, and then that next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at this point 14, 15 days now.
Mm-hmm.
The food that's getting shoved in there after it was all gone, like my stomach's always cooking. Maybe they just have bad diets and they don't know it's a human in there. They're like, oh, about to take a spicy chicken for Chick-fil-A shit. You know what I mean? Like that's just what they think is
Got a
going on.
foot?
Possible. I mean, if you're pooping like NFL football size poops all the time, like you would just think, oh, just another day.
Yeah, baby Duke coming out of the ass.
Exactly.
Where'd that baby Duke come from,
Where's the baby?
So we're just making up excuses for people, but I also get confused when people have babies pop out of them and they say they didn't know it was in there. I'm like, didn't it kick or something like that? I've never been pregnant though. I don't want to judge.
Yeah, I guess I can't judge. I've never been pregnant either. It just seems kind of tough to.
I think you could
I
judge
say,
in
oh,
this-
yeah, I wonder what
I
this
think you
thing
judge
that's
in
been
this
kicking for the
situation.
last 7 months is
think
doing
you-
inside me.
We can judge in this
Yeah,
one.
I'm pretty sure we could.
What are you saying about the lady that had the baby in the bathroom there and didn't know?
Just a little reckless.
Yeah.
Not a
Well,
recluse.
she's in a hospital though. Why didn't she just go into a room or tell a doc?
She made it to the hospital. She had
She
bad
had baby.
shits.
Yeah.
Bad shits.
Well,
Right.
but like also if they don't know, like are they just boozing the entire time?
Well, a lot of people think that it's an excuse to continue to booze if you
Yeah.
never admit that you're. That's the problem. I think people are hiding covered.
Yeah, that's a big. Yeah, you know what? That's probably a big part of it.
That's what people say. Yeah, I don't know enough about it, but
It's possible.
don't be boozing if you're pregnant.
Don't be
all right?
boozing.
No.
It's not. You don't have a fucking 2-month shit. That's
They
called-
used to though, man. That used to be kind of normal.
Oh yeah, ripping butts and shit.
Yeah.
Back
Are you
in
allowed
the
to smoke dope when you're pregnant?
You can do whatever you want.
I don't think you can do
I don't believe
anything.
so either.
Not supposed
Not-
to smoke dope.
It's not good, but probably not good. I don't know.
No cigs, no dope.
Oh, it's like me whenever I got arrested.
Yeah,
Kinda,
you gotta be
yeah.
Square.
And how many months is it? Isn't it 10?
Close to
27, just like you.
Wait, it's 10 months?
Yeah, I think it's 10 months.
It's almost 10.
What?
Can be.
9.
I think it's
the
almost.
traditional.
It can be almost 10.
No, they
But
all.
it ends up being almost 10.
Yeah.
They
What?
say it's
9 is like the conventional way to
Yeah,
say
because
it, I
there's
think. but-
trimesters, right? Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. But then there's always that meme that says like, "Did you know?" That type of shit.
That's real.
I think so. I'm not sure. From like conception, I think it's like I don't know.
That's insane.
I've never had a kid. I have no fucking idea. Let's get out of here. It is his birthday though, so good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy we had good birth talk.
Good birth talk.
Good birth talk on his birthday.
I'm glad that you consider that a good hospital because you look very similar to your parents.
Well, the only thing they could have got it wrong is send me home with somebody else.
That's right.
They didn't. They sent me home with Tim and Sally. They got it right. They're batting 1,000.
Good on. How many, man? Hey, tomorrow on the show we'll research how many kids were mixed up at birth, sent home with different parents, and then they're still living with these different parents. They never know.
That'd be sick.
Oh, well, I think we're going to have to wait for another birthday to have a good birth conversation. So we should have that type of stats and analytics ready for the next birthday.
Yeah, remember it for next year, like the draft. It's a month and it's 6 weeks out of the draft is the accurate info.
Boom.
So next year, when we're like 6 days away from today, we'll start looking into
Doing birth information for birth conversation on birthday.
Boom.
Zito just dropped in my ear. 1 out of 8 babies is what he said.
That's too many.
No way.
When was that article
No
written?
way.
That's what Zito
1932.
2017 that article was written. That's
Maybe 1450. It's not happening
It
now.
starts off with some estimates.
Well, I mean, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a estimate. There are some that say, depending on which hospital. I just want to say the one where I went obviously sent me home with the right parents. So shout out to them. Thank you.
They're more worried about people stealing babies.
What?
They put like bracelets on their ankles and wrists, and their parents have to have matching because they don't want people. They walk out with babies. Now they alarm if you try to take a kid.
From the Baltimore Sun, 28,000 babies get switched in hospitals every year. It's
too many.
That's an alarming number. I don't hear
Too
any.
many.
I don't hear any conversation
What?
about it. On this birthday, I would like that to be a conversation. Babies going home with all mamas and daddies.
8 babies a day.
Not at McGee's.
No. That's the McGee difference.
All right, we're out of here. Big thanks to Jim Irsay. Big thanks to Brandon Bean joining us in the first hour. That was awesome. Today was a good show.
Yeah.
Wasn't it, AJ?
It's a great Monday.
It is a good Monday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, probably going to be a little bit of a drop-off. Let's understand that.
No, because we got playoffs in the NBA and the NHL every day for the next month.
USFL's dead. We said it.
Yeah, that thing stinks.
How many more scheduled games?
Probably 5, 6.
Yeah. Big time. Who cares?
They need to get to the playoffs right now and say that the Super Duper Mega Bowl is on the line for every game.
Yeah.
They need to get Cinnamon out there wrestling.
Winner plays the CFL.
Precious the Bear out there.
Cannon.
Get a cannon. I, Jackie Moon, will be shot out of a cannon. They need the Super Duper Mega Bowl every week, the USFL.
I mean, they just need Chris Angel to do the coin toss and spin around, and that'll get viewers.
Hey, he was at an alarming speed, that spin.
I don't know how he doesn't. Yeah, he probably does it every single night during the show, though, doesn't he?
Well, it was never explained on TV. It was almost a surprise to everybody on TV that Chris Angel was dangling from the stage, spinning, I don't know, 200 miles an hour.
Just to get out of his straitjacket? Is that all he was trying to do?
2 of them. I think there's 2 of them.
And he did.
He did get out, though.
Yeah.
Was he going to fall on his head while it was like a drill? There was going to be a Chris Angel drill into the stage for how fast he was spinning.
Awesome.
He doesn't get this off in 5 seconds. He will drill his fucking head right through this stage. He's fucking close. Oh, he made it. Let's go to Roger Goodell with day 2. Is that what was the bad thing? A puke? Is the human drill going to puke before he gets
He's
out?
not going to puke. I think him and Wile E. Coyote are the only 2 to perform that drill move before.
To go into the ground. Yeah. Imagine if Chris Angel saw us through that stage.
Oh. Would have been unbelievable. Maybe next year.
He said, you have enough hairspray you can get through there. I think, with the way he...
Maybe in KC next year, Andy Reid does it.
I don't know if Andy Reid...
Do like a cheeseburger. You
Hey, What if he splits Andy Reid in 2 and shuffles him around?
Whoa! Puts his lower
I gotta see
half.
that again.
He puts his lower half on Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then he takes.
That's a good idea.
Tyreek Hill's legs on his.
Well, Tyreek Hill's in Miami.
I know.
Thank you for the
Obviously.
time. Obviously, follow the program. This is
Thinking of a smaller human.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for all the love.
Happy birthday. Just want to tell you again.
Well, I appreciate you. Go ahead and tweet out hashtag PMS Monday. PMS Happy Monday. Can't do that. Do PMS Happy Monday. It's my
I'm just going to go to Walgreens and order 6 more so I can do it just like you.
You think you can get these at Walgreens? That's the problem. This is earned here. This is earned.
Yeah.
Screenshot. PMS Happy Monday. Hashtag PMS Happy Monday. Say something nice to somebody. Could automatically enter to win. I don't know. How old am I?
$35.
$3,500.
Very old.
$3,500.
We'll have 3 winners of $3,500.
Boom.
3 winners of $3,500. Can't thank you all enough for watching and for allowing this to be my life. I'm excited for the next trip around the sun and maybe the trip to the moon for a show. You all are the best people on earth. Thank you all so much. This weekend, thank you everybody for coming, showing love. To my wife for, having the party. And Darius Butler for just chugging a bunch of beers.
Hell yeah.
Had a baby D-Butt. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. You're the best. Bye.